really glad we've got the owner's agreement to shut it down.
That shutdown of the property is set to occur on September the 1st. To hear McGraw's interview with Catherine Hanaway in its entirety, go to the KTRS app or ktrs.com. A proposed 6-month moratorium on data centers will be the focus of tonight's St. Charles County Council meeting. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
A proposed 6-month moratorium on data centers is scheduled to come up for a vote tonight before the St. Charles County Council. The plan, introduced at the June 29th council meeting, would use the county government's Environmental and Health Protection Authority to enact the moratorium throughout the entire county. This includes inside city boundaries where county regulations don't usually apply. Tonight's St. Charles County Council meeting is scheduled at 7 o'clock. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. A new report by financial marketplace Credible finds that Americans are not prepared for the true cost of home ownership. 84% of those surveyed don't believe first-time home buyers receive enough education about the true cost of owning a home. Additionally, more than 3 in 5 homeowners say the cost of owning a home causes financial strain, and 35% don't have an emergency fund for home-related problems. A look at the markets now, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 until 11 here on the Big 550. At the close, the Dow closes 138 down at 52,498. S&P 500 down 60 at 75.15. And the NASDAQ down 408 points at 25,873. Now heading on over to the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk. The semifinals are set for Soccer's World Cup. France will take on Spain tomorrow afternoon in Arlington. Meanwhile, the defending champs Argentina meet England on the pitch Wednesday from Atlanta. By the way, our Summer of Soccer finale preview show presented by Royal Banks of Missouri arrives Friday night at 6 here on the Big 550. Let's get a check of the roadways now. Joe Davis filling in for Captain Paul Kopsky. Hello, Joe.
How you doing, Brendan? Yes, we have a stalled vehicle on 64 East just past Grand Boulevard. The left lane and shoulder are closed. There is a crash on 270 eastbound past Elizabeth Avenue. The right lane and right shoulder are closed as well. There is another accident on 270 Inner at McDonald Boulevard blocking the 2 left lanes. Traffic is backed up to Missouri Bottom Road. It's Christmas in July all month long on KTRS. Come out to the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday for a free showing of the Disney classic Cars. Face painting and concessions start at 6 p.m., a stage show starts at 7, and the movie starts around 7:45. Please help families in need by bringing an unwrapped toy or non-perishable item. The first 75 people to bring a toy will get a free ticket to Disney's on Ice presents Find Your Hero, performing this September at Chaffetz Arena, and you'll get a specialty shake at the soda fountain. That's the free family movie night this Friday at Westport Plaza, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Joe. That weather forecast, we're topping out around 88, 89 degrees today. Tonight, a low temperature around 70 under clear skies. Tomorrow, temperatures warm even more into the low 90s under sunny skies. At 3:10, we've got 88 degrees in sunny skies at Westport Plaza. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Weesey on the Big 550 KTRS.
We are back, baby. All three of us, Heidi, Glaus, Josh Gilbert, Bob Ramsey, all in the studio, and we've got a great show. Before we get to that, we do have some breaking news. It looks like Lindsey Graham's sister has been named to temporarily fill his Senate seat. We'll have more on that in the 4 o'clock with ABC News political reporter. But first, we're going to talk to a best-selling author, Daniel Silva. He's going to be in town Friday night, but his new book, Ransom, hits store shelves tomorrow, and we're going to chat with him about this series that is now more than 20 books long, which is crazy. I don't even know how you continue a character for that long, but it's going to be interesting.
I have been aware of the books, but I hadn't jumped in. I like to read those series, those kinds of things. So looking forward to talk to him. Maybe he can sway me into buying some books.
I think he probably will be able to. We'll also check in with Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor. The White House entrance is undergoing some security enhancements. Is this because of all the threats on the president, or is this just outdated? We'll talk to Don, get his take on that. In the 4 o'clock, Ryan Krull will join us, and we'll talk about some of the stories he's covering. We've got the food truck zones apparently are coming. And then there's also a battle at the city with some attorneys for banks. And what does the real estate market look like? What houses can be condemned and which houses can't? So that's all coming up in the 4 o'clock. We'll talk a little sports in the 5 o'clock since we are on the All-Star break and find out about the Home Run Derby with Brendan Weesey. We got some entertainment news, and then we will wrap this show up with some randoms. Bob, you were gone for 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
Epic vacation. What were the highlights?
Clean, crisp, cool mountain air, the number one highlight. We did a few hikes. We kind of did some of the routine that we always do through our lodge area. The Big Thompson River flows right through it. And taking a book and sitting, having your feet in the river, and just enjoying being outside.
True relaxation.
You know, it's warm. You smell the pine trees and all that sort of thing. The one thing we did do new, we've been all around the state of Colorado, but not right in the middle. That's where Gunnison is. It's where Crested Butte is. And it's where, tell me if you've heard of this national park, Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. No. I hadn't really either. And so we started looking up, well, let's go do it. We spent a day there. It's the strangest phenomenon. You've got prairie, and then all of a sudden, this big rip in the earth, 2,500-foot sheer drops.
Wow.
The canyon down to the Gunnison River. And it was just strange.
And remind me, how many years have you guys gone to Colorado and this has been your kind of go-to spot?
Well, in a row, we've probably gone, right around 15 years.
Wow.
I first went to Colorado when I was 5.
And just fell in love with it. It's been kind of a touchstone.
I'll never forget the first time I saw Pikes Peak. My parents woke me up because we hadn't gotten there overnight. You know, the old days, the parents drive all night. And a picture window in the old style motor inns, motel. And you look out, and my first look was Pikes Peak. And I can still picture it. I'll never forget it. So, yeah, it's where we go. It's our happy place, no doubt.
Yeah, I love it.
So I always want to go different places.
Yeah.
See more things. I want to see the whole thing before I go. So it would be tough for me. I mean, we go back to Gulf Shores all the time because, we've got a place there and it's free. But when you keep going back to the same place, I mean, do you get a rhythm going there? Do you think you'll retire there at some point?
I don't get to retire. It's a great question. And I think what we've done is sort of split it up. We kind of get our home base at Rockmount Cottages in Estes Park. And there is a rhythm. First day you get there to the point where it's kind of fun. It almost is like, yep, we're here.
Yeah.
You got to go to the Safeway grocery store. In fact, my wife has a Safeway club card.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
That she uses once a year. And that sort of thing. And so then you sort of get acclimated, which you have to do to the high altitude. And then we do little offshoot trips to Laramie, Wyoming, up to Aspen, this time to Gunnison and Crested Butte. And then I finish up we stay with one of my best buddies and his wife from high school.
Oh, cool.
For a couple days, and then we come on home. But you're right. You got, for us, a home base and then branch out.
Very fun. Josh, we were all, I guess, kind of enjoying some water over the weekend. I went down to my mom and dad's lake house, got on the kayaks yesterday, which was just gorgeous. And then you were on the river.
We went out to the Boathouse. It's one of those river bars in Portage, and our favorite yacht rock cover band was playing.
That's a thing?
Who
That's
are
a
they?
thing.
What's the name of the band?
Captain, man, and now I'm going to ruin it. It's Dave from the El Monstero
Okay.
Pink Floyd cover band. He's the saxophone player. And he does Captain something in the portholes.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, Captain Bulkhead.
Captain
and the portholes.
Bulkhead. That's
and
nice.
Gosh, their set list is just yacht rock 101. I
Okay.
mean, he played Sailing, which I don't really care for.
Oh, I
but
do
it was,
like it.
It was the one that set the genre, you
Uh-huh.
know. But all the Steely Dan and
Yeah.
Michael McDonald you could imagine. And it was crowded.
Okay, this is so interesting because you said this back in the office. And as we are cruising to Cuba, Missouri, we're flipping through radio stations, and Yacht Rock is now a station on Sirius XM. And so I have it on there, and I look over, and Marcia is singing every word to every song
Kidding.
that is on the radio. And I'm like, some of these songs I had never even heard before. And I just looked at her. We have been together 17 years. I had no idea that Yacht Rock was her jam and that she knew every word. I just think it's so fascinating that you can be with somebody that long and you're still learning about them. I mean, like even the one-hit wonder Yacht Rocks, I look over and she's word for word just wailing it.
Yeah, the what was his name? Something Ferguson, Thunder Island. You didn't really hear much from him after that.
That was on, and
Was
she
it on?
sang that one. I'm like, I have no idea what this
That's
song
hilarious.
is.
You know, I wonder if it tells you when you were in your formative years, college and young adult, what radio stations
For
you were
sure.
for our age. So while I was KSHE guy all along, what were some of the more pop stations, KSLQ and places, radio stations like that?
84126. The texters will remember the older stations, but you can find a lot of these songs on the AM Gold albums that Time Life puts out. The AM Gold.
AM Gold.
It was just fascinating. Then you came in and said, "Oh, it was our favorite yacht rock band." And I'm like, "What is it with yacht?" And I'm not saying that I don't like it. I do like the genre. I just don't know the words of every song that comes on.
Well, Bob said, "Does bread count?" And I said, "Yeah, I think bread counts."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so then
bread
we
will
started
count.
singing "Baby, I'ma Want You."
Baby, I'm gonna need you. I'm not talking about moving in, and I
I'm
don't
not
want to
talking
change
about
your
moving-
mind.
Oh, now that's a pretty good song.
Really want to see you tonight. So it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And look, we're just talking about the songs, and we're laughing
Yeah.
and smiling. So
Well-
it's a fun genre.
When I was a kid, you had to have the bread 8-track, best of bread 8-track for when you had or were searching for female companionship.
Make a point. Hang on, where's that bread? at?
You're not going to play Ted Nugent, right? Which would be my preference.
Well, I bought a captain's hat when I went to a wedding in Key West,
That's a problem.
and I dug it out for yesterday. And my wife
If
said,
there's a place to wear it, that's probably it.
she goes, "You're not wearing that." And I said, "Well, I'm going to bring it in the car, and we'll discuss it on the way." But Finn grabbed it and put it on, and he was dancing around, and he goes, "Daddy, there's a guy who does music who wears one of these hats." And I look at him and I go, "Which one of your teachers is playing the Captain and Tennille at your school? How do you know who Daryl Dragon is? You're 5.5 years
Are you
old."
sure it's not his grandma's?
Well, and then
Possibly.
Julie said it could have been Chuck Berry, because Chuck Berry wore a captain's
Well,
hat.
that's true.
Famously. But my wife won the argument. I did not get to wear the captain's hat, but when we walked in, she saw 5 people wearing them, and then she apologized to me. And she said, "It's coming back on August 2nd. She said you can wear it next time.
We'll see. I bet secretly she was like, "Oh, thank God he's not wearing that hat."
Yes.
Look at
as
these
dumb as
three
these
guys.
idiots.
Exactly.
I'm stunned. I'm not a river person. I didn't even know you could swim on the river or do the boating that they do out there. The logs that would just float by. I don't know how these boats are getting around them.
Well, this is another day of Josh just found out.
But you grew up on the Mississippi River. You have to have a little experience to know what you're doing.
You have to watch for them. That's part of it. And definitely the driver of the boat has to be aware. But, yeah.
Yeah, I was stunned. And, can you get jet skis out there? I think that would be super dangerous.
No, they're out. If you go to Alton, there are jet skis everywhere. We actually bought the one that is at Cuba from somebody on the river.
But as always on the water, lakes, rivers, whatever, you do have to be focused on safety.
Yeah.
You can't be a knucklehead.
No.
But we saw a couple people throw anchor, drop anchor.
Drop anchor.
And I know the speaker's obviously facing, inside the bar, but you could probably hear it. It would be a fun place to drop anchor.
Oh, yeah, that's really fun.
Yeah.
Make your own little party cove.
So we had, now I got to buy a boat.
Oh.
I have to buy a boat. So it's going to be a little dinghy.
Maybe not.
You better look at our kayaks again.
Well, I've already got the hat. So.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Well, you guys know what we have coming up, and hopefully you'll hang out with us. Be a part of the show. Lots of people saying KWK, KSLQ, KADI.
Oh, Katie.
They said a little less hardcore than KSHE.
Yeah.
KXOK.
Yeah.
Somebody said Miss Magic 108.
Magic, okay.
So there we go.
Choose Pella of St. Louis for window and door replacement to help enhance your home. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
The tradition continues on Saturday, July 25th when the Cardinals play the Cincinnati Reds. That day you can take home the fan favorite Victory Blue jersey, just like the one the Cardinals wear every road Saturday, presented by Stiefel. It's a clean, classic look that stands out all season long. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. Step into Saturday in Victory Blue. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Michael McGreevy. See you at Busch Stadium.
When you build a home, the floor plan, the finishes, every room is yours from the very first line on the blueprint, and nobody does it better than Fisher and Fritchell Homes. We're building carefree villas, family homes, and luxurious estates in sought-after, amenity-packed communities in O'Fallon, St. Peters, Wentzville, Manchester, Wildwood, and glorious St. Albans. No time to build? Check out our selection of move-in ready homes, all with the quality craftsmanship you'd expect from Fisher and Fritchell. Visit fnfhomes.com for a map of locations. That's fnfhomes.com. Let's face it, most people are not thinking about planning a funeral, but planning ahead can bring you significant savings by locking in today's prices. Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens in Fairview Heights is part of Dignity Memorial. They've been an essential part of the community for generations and believe a funeral service or cremation memorial should be as unique as the person it honors. Receive low interest options on prepaid cremation property and burial plans, and up to 10% off cemetery property and funeral plans. Experience the dignity difference. Call Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens at 618-233-7200 to schedule a pre-planning appointment. Online at dignitymemorial.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Hi, I'm Robert Williams, owner of Auto Art on the Hill. If you own a classic car, Auto Art is your one-stop shop for repair, restoration, and maintenance. For over 35 years, we've helped car enthusiasts and collectors keep their vehicles looking great and running their best so they can drive them. We're also proud to be the home of the award-winning Throttle Squad Car Club. Trust your classic car's mechanical work to the experts at AutoWart. We offer a classic car care program that includes a free annual inspection plus exclusive discounts on any recommended services or repairs. All our work is guaranteed. Visit AutoWart at 5305 Northrop Avenue on the Hill. Online at AutoWartSTL.com.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the Control Option Mindset featuring the Lifetime and Generational Income Maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Mom, what do you always say?
There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newssetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Meep, meep.
It's about 3:27. Time to get our first look at traffic with Captain Joe Davis this afternoon. Hey, Joe.
How you doing, Heidi? Yes, at 70 East at exit 203, it is closed due to an accident and is backed up to St. Charles Warren County line. Expect up to an hour-long delay. There are also an accident on 270 Inner at Elizabeth Washington Street exit, and the right lane is blocked. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized, friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Now it's time for the KTRS Book Club.
It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence.
Powered each week by the St. Louis County Library on the Big 550.
Well, you see, I spell them like this sounds,
KTRS.
He has been called his generation's finest writer of international intrigue. And this Friday, the St. Louis County Library Foundation's favorite author series is bringing Daniel Silva to town to discuss his new book, Ransom. We are so happy to have time with him this afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. So good to be talking to you.
Ransom is just the latest in your series about Gregory Allen. When you wrote the first book about him, The Kill Artist, did you plan on it being a series, or was it just going to be a standalone book?
It was supposed to be a standalone. He was supposed to appear in one book and one book only. And my publishing house at the time just loved him and convinced me to turn him into a series character. But Matt, this is a 26th entry in the series. I never, ever, ever, ever imagined that. Forgive me. His first name is Gabriel.
Sorry.
That's okay. But I never, ever, ever imagined that he would be. I'd be out promoting the 26th entry in the Gabriel Law series.
That is crazy. And when you're writing a series and you're writing the 26th, what do you have to keep in mind?
Well, I guess that the one thing that I really do try to do with my books is I have to write the books for two very different audiences. I have to write it for the person who's never read one of my books, and then I have to write it for the reader who has read all of my books. And I have some readers who love to reread some of the books before the new one comes out, and so I have to bear that in mind. I don't want to bore the old reader with too much unnecessary backstory. And I need to make sure that the new reader has enough of a sense of the character. And so it's an interesting exercise every single chapter, basically, to get it right.
So Daniel, go back to when the publisher said, "Hey, we really like this guy. Let's do more." Did you already have, and as you wrote that first one, maybe kind of a backstory for the character in your mind, or were you wide open to develop it as each ensuing novel came along?
Well, his backstory was settled law, as we would say. You know, and so what changed for me was, I guess over 26 books, the character has really evolved, and he's sort of, moved through this first 25 years of this crazy turbulent new millennium of ours. I've sort of charted our history as it's unfolding through this character, and so I took it a couple of books at a time, but just went on a journey with him. And so the character, as he exists in Ransom, the new book, is rather different from the way he was in the first book, in a good way. I have gotten the advanced reads from my longtime readers on this book, and I say this with great humility, that they're saying it's the best book that I've ever written.
Oh, wow!
And that I could do that on the 26th book is. I thought it was a special book. I thought there was just something I got right about it, but I am blown away by what people are telling me about this book.
So I want to talk more about the new book, but first, is Gabriel a complete figment of your imagination, or in your work as a journalist, did you come across people who shaped him?
He is completely made up.
Okay.
But are there people like Gabriel? Yes. He did real world operations, but the character, as he exists on the page, his story, it's entirely fictitious.
Daniel, I want to ask you about using real-world leaders, real countries in your international intrigue novels. In the Marvel movies, they created the country of Sokovia so that they could blow it up. And then I think License to Kill, James Bond, they created a fictionalized kind of Cuba-type country. So what are your thoughts on using real countries, using real things in the news, versus creating kind of an imaginary country that you don't have to be gentle about?
Yeah, I don't. There's no stand-in for Russia. Russia are the ultimate villains in this novel. There's no Dubasha or something like that. You know what? I am a journalist. It's where I started. I really do bring a journalist's sense and sensibility to my work, and I have never created a stand-in for a real country. I have stand-ins for certain figures, like for example, I never refer to the president by his real name, but it's clear who he is, the president of Russia. But it's not something that would really work. Marvel Comics and James Bond are one thing. What I do, it just wouldn't work. I mean, I'm quite sure that Tom Clancy never did a stand-in country, or Frederick Forsyth. We work in the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel Silva is with us, author, and he's going to be at the St. Louis County Library coming up on Friday. And Daniel, so that leads me to my next question about the espionage, international espionage, something you covered as a journalist. Do you ever get any pushback from former acquaintances? Oh, that would never happen. Daniel, what are you doing there? Or do most of them say, hey, Daniel, I think you got that right?
Okay, I'm gonna get my text messages here, okay? I can't tell you who it is, okay? I can't tell you who it is. It says, where is this? Fabulous. Ooh. I was breathless.
Nice.
And it's a former director of the Central Intelligence Agency.
Okay.
On my last book.
Well, there's not that many of them, so I'm going to go through the list.
That's great.
So you touched on your character being a little bit different in this new book, Ransom. Tell us how it's evolved.
You know what? I guess that the most important difference for the character is that over the course of about 20 books, he was a intelligence operative. That he hid it within the art world under an assumed identity mostly, and he was that, and that was the order of things. Okay, he is an intelligence operative, and his cover job is that he's an art restorer. He is now an art restorer who used to be a spy, and it's a small but not insignificant difference. And it's sort of really changed the tone and giving me a bit more freedom with the books. I always knew that this is how I would. I'm not saying that I'm wrapping up the series anytime soon, but that at the final lap of the series, that this is where he was going to end up. So he lives in Venice in a beautiful apartment on the Grand Canal. He has a summer cottage in Cornwall in England. I could pick these two beautiful places. It's just changed the tone of the series in a really lovely way. And he has a very tragic. You were referring to his backstory earlier. He has a very tragic backstory. He lost his first family to a terrorist bomb, and getting over that was a major component of the series and sort of the healing process of that. And now he is a much more contented person. Yes, he carries around a lot of grief that he tries to hide from his wife and children, but he is on the page a much more contented, happier person. And it just sort of changed the tone of the books in a really nice way.
So you write about the art world, and with the prices of things these days, you see a Picasso go for $100 million. I'm convinced that it's rife for money laundering, but it's got its own intrigue as well. Did you find anything in any of your research that said, I didn't realize how weird and wild the art world is?
Funny you should say that. I wrote a whole book a couple of years ago about art being used as for money laundering and wealth concealment, offshoring wealth, tax evasion. Yes, and so our at least in the previous administration really understood that art is rife for money laundering. And, it's got this value that it's worth whatever you say it's worth. All of the sales are conducted in private for the most part. Buyer doesn't know seller. Seller doesn't know buyer. It is just a recipe for corruption. And I'm afraid that all that glitters is not gold. And there's a lot of corruption in the art world. There's a lot of forgery and fraud in the art world, and that's what makes it fun to write about.
Yeah, we're talking to best-selling author Daniel Silva, and as much as your characters are entertaining, your story, I think, is very interesting and inspirational because, as you mentioned, you were a journalist for so many years. What finally got you to make the jump to follow your dream?
Well, I think that it was, I felt that I was, in my early 30s, I was in a job where I really wasn't doing much writing any longer. And so I felt ready and I also needed the outlet. I needed to sit and write. I love to write. I'm a compulsive writer. And it was just, the stars were in alignment.
Well,
and I told my wife what I was going to do. When she stopped laughing, she said, "Okay, go for it."
Whatever.
So I just got up whatever. I would just get up I'm a non-sleeper for the most part. I got up every morning and worked for 3 or 4 hours on the book, and then started my day at CNN. And eventually I had a finished manuscript, but I did it entirely in secret. No one else knew except my wife and her parents. That because I would be working around them. They knew what I was doing, but we kept it a secret. And lo and behold, I sold the darn thing. And then I had to tell my bosses at CNN that I would be needing about a year off.
Sure.
And so that I sold a book. So it was a dream come true. But I have to say, I still never imagined that I would be able to make a career of it long term. It's a difficult business.
Yeah.
I feel very lucky. I want to say that. St. Louis, we've just always had a very special connection there. We are going to have the biggest darn event in St. Louis in a few days. It is. I forget the last head count, but I just can't wait to come back. I know we're going to have a great event, and my wife is going to be interviewing me on stage.
I was just going to ask, has she ever thrown you a question that you weren't ready for?
Yes, all the time. But mainly, she likes to just sit there and make fun of me for about a half an hour.
Yeah,
it's a great marriage.
Yeah. Do you guys have a routine that you get into? Because I feel like she's way too close to the interviewee.
Yeah, she does stuff, but there is a lot of poking fun at the author and his quirky habits.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. And most people really enjoy it. I have to say.
Most people will recognize your wife, Jamie Gangel, as well from TV. Well, you can hear more from Daniel and his wife Friday night at 7 at the Clark Family Branch of the St. Louis County Library. He'll be signing his new book, Ransom, which you can find on store shelves starting tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you for having me, guys. It was a real pleasure.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event. The Raceway features a full schedule on their drag strip, oval track, and Gateway Kartplex. For full schedule and ticket info, go online to www.raceway.com. The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to www.raceway.com.
That's www.raceway.com.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green. Online at jewelsonhampton.com.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
The World Cup is here, and for a team to survive, they need a good defense. If you've been hurt in a crash or on the job, call Brown & Brown now for a free consultation. 314-333-3333. That's 314-all-threes. The choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to The Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 12 minutes before 4 o'clock. Captain Joe Davis, how are the roads?
Yes, there is an accident that is causing stop-and-go traffic in Frontenac at Spady Road all the way to Ballas. There is also a crash on 270 eastbound past Elizabeth Avenue. The right lane and right shoulder are closed. On 70 East at exit 203, it is closed due to an accident and is backed up to St. Charles, Warren County line. Expect delays for up to an hour. This KTRS traffic report is brought to you by Christmas in July. It's Christmas in July all month long on KTRS. Come out to the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday for a free showing of the Disney classic movie Cars. Face painting and concessions start at 6 p.m., a stage show at 7 p.m., and the movie starts around 7:45. Please help families in need by bringing an unwrapped toy or non-perishable item. The first 75 people to bring a toy will get a free ticket to Disney's On Ice presents Find Your Hero, performing this September at Chaffetz Arena. It's the free family movie night this Friday at Westport Plaza, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Yacht rock kind of seems like love songs to me. I mean, how do you describe yacht rock? Is it just a sound, or is it kind of mushy songs?
I was going to, while you were saying that, what word? Soft?
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of meh.
I mean, once you got to get through the cheese, Bob.
But
and
is
that's
it
when you appreciate it.
Mostly love songs?
Yeah, it's love songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he played "Escape," the Rupert Holmes Pina Colada song.
That was one of the songs we sang.
I hate.
I love.
I want to follow up those. There's no way those two stayed together. I mean, they're both looking for love in other places. They're filling out classified ads.
But they didn't talk, and now they know what the other one wants, and they've lived happily ever after.
The fact that you two can break that song down is really a problem.
I give it 6 months.
Okay, I disagree. And matter of fact, I'm going to share some tips from a couple that just celebrated 80 years of marriage. But first, we got to go to Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor. The White House, as we mentioned earlier, is undergoing some security enhancements and upgrades. And Don, we want your thoughts on this. I mean, is this because of all the threats on the president? Is it just out of date and it needs to be redone? What are your thoughts?
Well, Heidi, the last time the president, the White House had a significant upgrade was in the 50s when Truman was in office, when they remodeled the entire White House in and out. Since then, they've done some piecemeal work to the White House, but never have given it a full top-to-bottom upgrade to bring it up to modern standards. When Reagan was in office, he made it look better because it got a little tired in the Carter administration, but nothing substantial as far as the infrastructure of the White House, both security and the physical infrastructure of the White House. So there's been a lot of plans on the table for a long time to fix and update both the physical infrastructure of the White House and the security infrastructure, but they've sat due to a lot of the optics of spending money on the president's house and a lot of the stakeholders involved, because there's multiple stakeholders involved at the White House. Finally, this administration said enough. We need to get the White House up to modern standards. Let's push forward and get some of these projects done. And that's what they're doing. The Secret Service owns the security around the White House. Other players like the National Park Service own the building itself. So together, they're trying to upgrade not only the physical part of the building, but the security. And I think that's why people are seeing so much work occurring around the White House.
So, Don, I don't know how much you can say of what you know, but are we talking about trying to make the building attack-proof? Are we talking about cybersecurity and not being able to penetrate that side of it? What are we talking about?
Everything. The 360 degrees of protection that the Secret Service has to provide for the president. They're working on every aspect of every vulnerability you can imagine to make sure the White House is up to date, modernized, and hardened. So that way, one of the things that we saw recently was with the protests from the BLM movements in the 20s to the January 6th and everything else, people get to the front fence line of the White House, and it becomes really problematic because for the counter snipers on a rooftop, they have a very limited amount of time to identify somebody and decide whether it's an armed threat or not and take a shot. And when you're on the rooftop of the White House, you're looking at something that looks like a bean. So they want to create as much standoff distances in these high-tense scenarios that they can, so that way they have more time to react, respond, and make assessments about what's going on. One of the security enhancements they're going to do is in Lafayette Park put in some retractable fencing, so that way if a riot or something erupts or there's a major act of civil disobedience, they can create more standoff distance and sort of cordon off Lafayette Park to keep those people away from the front fence line of the White House, something that's probably well overdue. A lot of these enhancements are well overdue. And, you have to think of modern times and modern threats, which we see every day in the news.
Don, you kind of touched on it, but the counter sniper on the roof, is there always somebody on the roof?
Whenever the president is there, there's always somebody on the roof. And when he's not there, there's still somebody looking from the roof, one way or another. There's always surveillance in and around the White House.
And Don, Pennsylvania Avenue, you look on a map, I pulled that up here, Lafayette Park, just north of the White House. It seems like you could get pretty close to the White House.
Yeah, Pennsylvania Ave is wide, but it's not really wide. Pennsylvania Ave was open up until after the Oklahoma City bombing. After the Oklahoma City bombing, the Secret Service actually worked with the CIA to put together a bomb blast video and showed it to President Clinton of what a U-Haul truck, the same thing as Timothy McVeigh's U-Haul did in Oklahoma City, what that would do to the White House. And President Clinton turned around and signed the executive order to shut down Pennsylvania Ave. The city of D.C. didn't want to do it. So they're worried about traffic and this, that, and the other thing. So then that's how they got Pennsylvania Ave shut down. Now with Lafayette Park, with all the riots, civil disobedience that have occurred over the past couple of years, They recognize that they need to be able to put in some more robust crowd control measures to keep those people away from the White House fence. The White House fence was 6 feet tall in 2014, which perpetuated a lot of the White House fence jumping incidents. It took the Secret Service 5 years to raise the fence to 10 feet because of all the different stakeholders involved in the White House. So it's a lot of these enhancements are well overdue. It seems like the administration is cutting through a lot of the bureaucracy so they can do these things. And from my perspective, it's about time.
Is Pennsylvania Avenue open to pedestrian traffic? Can you walk by the White House?
Yeah, Pennsylvania Avenue is open to pedestrian traffic. On a regular day, you can walk from 15th to 17th Street or vice versa. You can come in off Lafayette Park. You can walk right up to the White House, the front of the White House, take pictures. You always see people doing that. So it's accessible. The same thing on the south side. If you're coming to the White House from the Ellipse, you can walk up. There's a street that separates the rear of the White House from the Ellipse, but you can walk up to the Ellipse to the fence line, and you're right behind the White House and take pictures and whatnot. Those get closed off when there's presidential movements to create more standoff distance. And I think what the Secret Service is looking at is future actions that could impact the security of the White House, and how can we create more standoff distance, which is the number one security measure to use, create standoff distance, because it provides time for people to identify, assess, and react to a situation before it's on top of you.
Yeah. Don, as always, we appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Don't miss the summer sale going on all month long at Appliance Discounters. Come in today and save, and they'll deliver it tomorrow. Savings up to 60% off select models. In addition to their sales prices, Appliance Discounters is having huge factory rebates on select models. They have a 50,000 square foot warehouse full of savings. Just come by one of their 6 showrooms and they'll show you why they're called the Appliance Discounters. Appliance Discounters with 6 locations or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
Every summer, homeowners make plans. A new grill, a backyard project, a family vacation. But what about the upgrades you'll enjoy every single day? If your windows are drafty, difficult to open, or your entry and patio door has seen better days, now is the perfect time to make a change. Renewal by Andersen makes replacing windows and doors simple with beautifully crafted products, professional installation, and a customer experience that's second to none. And right now, you'll save big. Get $1,000 off your patio or entry door purchase and take $400 off each replacement window. All you have to do is call 877-WINDOWS or visit renewalbyanderson.com. Again, that's 877-WINDOWS or visit renewalbyanderson.com. Renewal by Andersen. Superior products, exceptional service.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
Summer in St. Louis means oppressive heat and humidity. Now is the time to take advantage of Aldon Heating and Cooling's $79 AC check with a free home air quality snapshot. And summer is allergy season. Now's the time to take advantage of Aldon's $200 off an allergy relief package, which includes an air scrubber and filtration system. Book your appointment now as spaces are filling up fast. Certain restrictions apply. And for information on a state-of-the-art dike and fit system, visit al-don.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Lawler, Ken the AI Guy, and I'm proud to be the official AI Guy for KTRS Radio. Every other Monday during the 3:30 drive time hour, I join Heidi, Glaus, Josh, and Rammer on the Heidi Glaus Show to talk about the latest innovations in tech and AI news. So tune in, stay curious, and let's make sense of what's next together. Ken the AI Guy on KTRS Radio, powered by First State Bank of St. Charles, your local source for home loans.
Following the sudden death of Senator Lindsey Graham this weekend, South Carolina's Governor Henry McMaster appointing Graham's sister, Darlene Graham Nordone, to carry out the remainder of his term until January.
Lindsey took care of his little sister in years long departed. It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now.
A special election will be held August 11th to choose a candidate to run in the general election. The GOP-led Senate also dealing with the absence of Senator Mitch McConnell, who was hospitalized last month. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
For 4 weeks, Mitch McConnell's office did not disclose his health condition or why he was hospitalized. But then yesterday, they released a photo of McConnell and his wife, Elaine Chao, and a statement from McConnell explaining that he had a fall, he was briefly unconscious, and then he was treated for a mild case of pneumonia. He was then moved, McConnell says, from the hospital to a rehab facility. He says he didn't have a stroke or a heart attack or anything more serious than that.
The White House has formalized its re-engagement in the war in Iran, notifying Congress on July 10th of renewed military action, according to a copy of the notice obtained by ABC News. Iran announcing a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Now President Trump says a naval blockade will go back into effect, and the U.S. should get a 20% toll.
Now we're going to guard it, and we're going to get paid for guarding it, a lot of money. But we just want to be reimbursed for doing all of this, for putting our people in danger.
The renewed hostilities pushing oil prices higher, and in the U.S., gas prices nearly 10 cents higher a gallon in the past week.
Analysts say this will be the first weekly rise in gas costs since back in May. Now, before that new round of strikes yesterday, President Trump suggested the U.S. and Iran were close to a deal to move forward with peace talks.
ABC's Karen Hua. You're listening to ABC News.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community, with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels, with membership starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
Good afternoon. It's 4:03 and 88 degrees at Westport Plaza. I'm Brendan Wiese, and here's the latest from the KTRS Newsroom. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway was a guest on the McGraw Show earlier this morning here on the Big 550. Hanaway spoke on the need to shut down the Mark Twain Hotel in downtown St. Louis.
Well, it's just deplorable conditions for the people who are living there. The roof seeps water in. There are people dealing drugs in the building. There's black mold throughout the building. There's bed bugs. And so we got to shut this thing down and get the people who are in there out of there and hopefully into better housing placements. For some of those, better housing is going to be prison because, as I said, there are a number of people dealing a lot of drugs out of that building, but there are also perfectly innocent people who are living in these horrible conditions.
Hanaway went on to say the owner of the property was in agreement that the building would be shut down by September the 1st. To hear the entire interview, go to the KTRS app or KTRS.com. Governor Mike Keogh signed several bills into law this afternoon in Jefferson City. Included in those is House Bill 3231, which would bring hundreds of millions of dollars in new investment to downtown St. Louis. Greater St. Louis Incorporated managing partner Ron Kitchens issued the following statement regarding the bill becoming law. Today is a great day for downtown, and we want to thank Governor Keogh for signing this landmark legislation into law. This legislation has been a top priority of the business community, and over the past 3 years, we have worked with our partners across the state in support of its passage. The legislation is designed to catalyze the redevelopment of major vacant properties like the AT&T and Railway Exchange buildings. A motorcyclist was killed in a crash this morning in St. Louis County. According to our partners at First Alert 4, the crash occurred at 7:15 on Lemay Ferry Road when an SUV heading south collided with the motorcycle while trying to make a left-hand turn. The motorcyclist was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the SUV was not injured and is cooperating with the investigation. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Noel Floors, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. The Post-Dispatch is reporting that the longtime chairman and CEO at the Bank of Washington in Franklin County, L.B. Eckelkamp, has died after a brief illness. Eckelkamp had made waves recently with plans to build a data center on family-owned land in Gray Summit. Eckelkamp was 82. A look at the markets now brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 until 11 here on the Big 550. At the close, the Dow drops 138 points to 52,498. The S&P 500 down 60 at 75.15, and the NASDAQ down 408 points at 25,873. Now a trip over to the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk. Jordan Walker takes center stage tonight as part of the 8-man home run derby in Philadelphia. Walker has 22 home runs at the All-Star break while also leading the National League with 74 runs driven in. Now it's time to get a check on those roadways. Joe Davis is filling in for Captain Paul Kopsky. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Brendan. We have a couple of slow spots here. There is slow traffic on 270 South between Manchester and Doherty Ferry. There's also slow traffic on 64 West between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker. One right lane on 141 will be closed northbound near 44 through early August. And expect delays on 64 West from Prospect to 70 due to road work. This traffic report was brought to you by Christmas in July. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday for a free showing of the Disney classic movie Cars. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. The first 75 people to bring an unwrapped toy for families in need get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free Family Movie Night this Friday, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Joe. Look at that weather forecast. Tonight, we'll have clear skies. Lows dropping down to 70. Really nice night in town. Tomorrow, we'll have high temperatures in the low 90s under sunny skies, and the temperatures will continue to rise throughout the week. Hot and humid with very little, if any, chance for rain. At 4:08, we've got sunny skies and 88 degrees at Westport Plaza. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Weesey on the Big 550 KTRS.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis to help improve my home when it matters most. It's not just Pella's high-quality windows and doors. It's the local experts who know the St. Louis area so well. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects or 0% no payments, no interest if paid in full within 24 months. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. 833-87-PELLA or Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Every great sports story starts somewhere. Maybe it's a game-winning goal on a Saturday morning, a breakaway with seconds left, the wins, the losses, the love of the game. Now those moments have a new home. The CarShield Sportsplex is bringing together youth soccer, youth hockey, and a place for athletes of all ages to play, compete, and grow. From first practices to championship dreams, the CarShield Sportsplex is built for the next generation of athletes. Visit CarShieldSportsplex.com for more information.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Monday afternoon, July 13th. Piglet gets second chance at life after jumping from a truck and landing onto a Missouri highway. A 14-day-old piglet did the unthinkable last month in a split decision. She wiggled off the back of a transport truck, fell onto a busy highway, miraculously survived with the help of one very observant driver. That driver was Jess McGowan, who explained that she was driving behind this transport truck on the highway. She said she saw a little face up on the side through one of the vent holes, and it was a cute piglet. All of a sudden, she fell right out onto the highway in front of my car without hesitation. In the middle of rush hour, she turned on her hazards, jumped into traffic, saved the piglet once she caught it, picked it up, brought it home. She realized that even though she had fallen in love with this little piglet, that it was going to be about 800 pounds when she became full grown. So she reluctantly called animal control. KC Pet Project took her in. Staff immediately fell in love, feeding her goat's milk and treating her more like a princess than a pig. In less than 24 hours, the Kansas City Pig Rescue Network.
That's a thing.
There is such a thing. Located on the outskirts of Kansas City, collected the little piglet, named her Roxanne. KC's Pig Rescue Network has taken in hundreds of pigs over the year, fostering them, fixing them up, and finding their forever homes. Right now, there are 36 pigs in residence, all of which are living among other farm animals like chickens, roosters, turkeys, and a few goats. Roxanne has already found a permanent home at a sanctuary in Colorado. She is set to move there in September.
In a related story, I had a BLT for lunch.
Yeah. Was it good?
It was delicious.
I have an identical story to that.
No, you don't.
Yep.
You go then.
I was working at Worldwide Technology, and I was driving home from Westport to Alton. I lived in Alton at the time.
Were you wearing a tie?
No.
You didn't have to wear a tie?
No.
Okay.
And it was bumper-to-bumper traffic, and I see this little pig's head pop out, and then I see a little arm, and then I see another arm, and I'm like, I think this pig is going to make it. But it was all the way at the very top of this semi-truck.
Oh.
And the pig fell out.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, no. And, I kind of look over the dashboard, and sure enough, the pig was trotting along the highway. And then we started kind of moving again. I was thinking about doing the same thing, jumping out
I'm surprised
picking
you
this
didn't.
pig up. I wonder if I was the only person that saw this. But it was right in front of St. Martin de Port on 270. There's the Ford dealership over there. My brother's a Hazelwood cop. I get home, I call him, and I say, hey, did anyone report a pig on 270 at Lindbergh today? And he goes, oh, yeah. Someone picked it up and pulled over. And and they called us. They called the police. And when the police got there, the pig was in the back seat chewing on the seatbelt. Exact same story to what
That's
this woman
hilarious.
did.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know what happened to the pig. Maybe he's at the KC Pig Rescue.
Maybe I had him for lunch. Well, everyone's seen the video now, so I'm not going to do the bison attacking the grandpa.
That was in a
Yellowstone.
Campground in Yellowstone. Like they were at the campsite.
Yeah.
Like there were tents in this video.
Yeah, the grandpa, one story said 100 yards away. He didn't look 100 yards away, but he was well beyond the recommended distance.
Except everybody said he did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like once, they caught the bison's attention, kind of.
The bison was just a little quicker than him in the end.
Yes, he was.
He looked pretty far away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not doing that story.
Did you see in the video, there was like tents, like, regular tents that you'd buy, but then there was like one of the old-fashioned triangle tents that it looked like somebody had put up, and I'm like, is someone trying to recreate, the westward expansion? And one of these little triangle tents, it looked like it was made of canvas or something.
General Custer stays in it.
Yeah, somebody was
Buffalo
really,
Bill.
really reaching back.
Yeah, I think they've just got it on an Army surplus place.
Yeah,
probably.
I got a real old tent. We'll take the old tent. How old is it?
200 years.
Real old.
So I'm not doing that story.
Okay.
How hard is it to eat like Erling Haaland? You know who I'm talking about, Josh?
The gigantic.
The Viking?
Yes.
Norwegian
The
soccer
Norwegian
player.
soccer
You see
guy.
the picture, and I never know what's true and what's false. As he's boarding the plane, he had a stuffed raccoon that he was carrying with him, like it's a statue.
ESPN has the story. I just saw it. They say it's the one souvenir he's taking home from the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stuffed raccoon
Drinking a bottle of something.
I think Haaland is a nut, but in a fun way.
Yes.
In a really fun way, and just a physical unbelievable physical specimen. Well, you know, his father played in the World Cup. His mother was an Olympian.
Oh, I did not realize that.
So there's some good DNA there. Can you eat like him? I don't know if you're aware. At 6'5", you know, he's become a big social media personality. He in the regular season he plays for Manchester City. He eats about 6,000 calories a day. 6,000 a day.
It's like Michael Phelps.
It comes from protein-rich meals from his favorite farms and delis and butchers in England. First, how about breakfast? 4 scrambled eggs, 2 slices of sourdough toast, large bowl of Greek yogurt, berries and black coffee, and some maple syrup. Doesn't sound too outrageous, but he always drinks raw milk.
Oh.
And he washes down the already substantial breakfast with that rich, creamy beverage. I did see a scientist say, with his lifestyle, you can drink the raw milk, but for the average person, you got to be very, very careful.
Wise, yeah.
6,000 calories a day. Josh, you used to do that.
Yeah, yeah. When I was in my training phase.
And what were you training for again? I don't remember.
The eating contest.
Oh, the eating contest.
Yeah. So there's video of him when they're giving, their equipment to the equipment manager, of him folding up his, warm-ups and, and handing them nicely to the... And all these other soccer players are just throwing them at this guy. And he hands over this nice folded thing, and the guy shakes his hand. They obviously have some sort of rapport.
Certainly seems like he's been raised right.
Yes. All right, and I'll just do this quickly so we can get to Ryan Krull from St. Louis Magazine. Events where you have to lock your phone up. You guys ever been to one of these?
Yes.
Have risen 567% in the past year. These events, like the Taylor Swift wedding.
There's a lot of comedy shows that you have to lock your phone.
I locked my phone up for John Mulaney.
Yeah.
At Enterprise.
I think I did for, I don't remember if it was Chelsea Handler or Amy Schumer, maybe.
Yeah, I believe it. They say that there's different degrees to locking your phone up. One is you get a sticker to put over your camera so you can't use it. You take the sticker off when you leave. One where they just ask you nicely, don't get your phone out. And then the other ones where they have the soft pouch cases. You put your phone in, they lock it. And then at the end of the show, boop,
I've never done that. Is there ever a problem getting your phone back, or do you hear of anybody losing their phones?
No.
Good.
And
that's good.
I was surprised. It'd be kind of nice to have a phone lock weekend. As long as there was a way.
Could you do it?
I could.
I think I could too.
I don't think you could.
I think I could. A whole weekend?
You text a lot of people. You've got a lot of text chains.
Yeah, because I can, but I don't have to.
Okay,
right?
But you want to.
That's true.
Okay.
I'd probably get a piece of paper and write down funny things.
That you could
when
remember.
I get my phone back,
Okay, now
I gotta text Heidi this.
Yeah, maybe, because I enjoy your text. You know what? You always need to have your phone out when you're in Springfield, Illinois, because there's so many things to do and see. One of the things that I don't think I've talked nearly enough about is the Dana Thomas House, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright design, and it is so cool. They've even, he created pieces, like furniture pieces, or designed them anyway, for artwork to sit on. It's so interesting to see kind of how his mind worked, and you can do that in Springfield, Illinois. But the places to see, there's the Air Combat Museum with some old planes. There's an Adams Wildlife Sanctuary where you can just walk out into the wild. You've got, of course, got the Cozy Dog Drive-In, which is fantastic. But all of the historic sites from, the Clayville Historic Site. You've got the old courthouse, which is fantastic. You've got the Illinois Governor Mansion and the state capitol, which are really cool to see. And then this year, coming up, you've also got the state fair, and there's some great people playing. The Chicks, Ella Langley, Lainey Wilson. Those are the ones that I remember because, it's a big deal. You can plan your trip because they even have itineraries. If you go to the website, visit springfieldillinois.com. If you, kind of give them the days you're going to be there, they will plan out everything. All you have to do is show up and enjoy your time in Springfield, Illinois. Again, experience. Visit springfieldillinois.com.
All right, Ella Langley, she is top of the charts.
Yeah.
For like six.
Choosing Texas.
6th week.
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife. I need to go back and listen to the song. Is Texas a girl that he's picking over her?
No, I think it's the state.
Or is he like leaving on the midnight train to Georgia?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he wants to go back to Texas.
That's my take.
He's picking the state over her.
Because she also talks about the mountains in Tennessee and different things that she is.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
I thought that she had hooked him with that.
I thought it was a girl. I thought it was a girl from Texas, and she just didn't reveal her name or whatever. But then
you know what? That could be.
Too.
That's a realistic kind of take. Yeah.
I'm going to read the lyrics in the commercial break.
Okay.
With summer already upon us, it's time to think about heat and cooling. If you haven't already, take a look at Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. Not only are they a local St. Louis company, owned and operated by our neighbors, but they're offering some fantastic promotions right now. The first, get a free second opinion from Indoor Comfort Team. If you're not sure about what another HVAC company has told you, that's all right. Reach out to Indoor Comfort Team, and they'll come out to give a second opinion and some peace of mind. If it turns out you need a new system, they can help with that too. Get $2,000 off a new Train system with no interest financing. You can even get a discount on their VIP maintenance membership program at only $19.99 a month right now. That's 24/7 priority service and support, permanent discounts, tune-ups, and more. Check them out and see why St. Louis has trusted them since 1979. That's IndoorComfortTeam.com
or call 314-894-8200.
Since 1974, Permajack of St. Louis has been helping residential and commercial owners protect their biggest investment. From successfully solving foundation structural problems to making sure basements remain dry, Permajack has performed tens of thousands of projects on both sides of the river, utilizing state-of-the-art technology, techniques, and equipment. Permajack of St. Louis has done it with honesty and integrity, never recommending anything outside of what you really need. For many repairs, Permajack provides a transferable life of structure warranty, all while Permajack of St. Louis has earned a BBB A+ rating and accreditation for foundation settlement, bowed or buckling walls, cracks in your foundation, walls or bricks, or basement waterproofing. Choose the hometown family-owned team at Permajack of St. Louis. Schedule your free inspection and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack. Solid as rock.
Let me tell you about family jeweler Lordo's Diamonds that has been a proud sponsor at KTRS for over 20 years. If you need jewelry, whether brand new diamonds, earrings, necklaces, bracelets, maybe something for the gentleman in your life, a nice new watch, or maybe something for the daughter or the son, Lordo's is where you want to go. Right there in Ladue on Clayton Road, a family jeweler, well-respected, well-trusted for generations here in St. Louis. Lordo's or lordosdiamonds.com.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550. KTRS. It's Monday. And that means news, politics, lighthearted topics, and everything St. Louis and beyond. It's Ryan Krull from St. Louis Magazine on the Big 550 KTRS. The talk of St. Louis.
Well, it looks like a food truck zone or zones are about to become a law. Ryan has written about it for St. Louis Magazine and joins us with the nuts and bolts. Welcome back.
Hey, great to be here. Yeah, happy to talk about these food trucks. I'm excited.
So who pushed for this? Who's behind this, what is soon to be a law, I guess?
Yeah, so really the main driver is this Alderman Rasheen Aldridge. He represents a big part of downtown, and I think the impetus for him was that he was seeing a lot of folks were getting out of events at like the Peabody or our Enterprise Center or even like Energizer Park, late at night, at around midnight or so, and oftentimes there wasn't a place to eat. And this was just kind of a bad look for the city, especially with tourists and folks who are having their first impression of the city. And I thought maybe a good way to solve this would be to basically make it easier for food trucks to operate in the city of St. Louis. And as it turns out, right now, it's actually really hard for food trucks to operate in the city. There's a lot of permitting that needs to be done, a lot of hoops to jump through. And then once these food trucks get all the credentials, there's a really limited area they can operate in, and there's sort of very limited times of day. So his bill would basically create a half a dozen or so food truck zones where anytime from about 9 p.m. to 1 a.m., a food truck can operate in this designated area. And a lot of these are by kind of hot spots, like on Cherokee Street in South City, and parts of Midtown, kind of near SLU, by the soccer stadium, by where the Blues play. So it's supposed to be good for food trucks who have kind of had this sort of onerous regulatory burden, but also be kind of just good for the nightlife of the city.
And Ryan, does this apply to food trucks during the day for lunch, or this is just a late night kind of thing?
Oh, no, I think the impetus was a little bit for the late night stuff, but it 100% applies for food trucks during the day as well. I think I want to say it's about 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. So, yeah, definitely covers lunchtime. And, a lot of these nightlife spots are also spots like, for instance, in downtown where people work as well. So I think it'll be good for the lunch crowd as well.
Ryan, is there any connection or association with this story? And a few months ago, we had the Cardinals and City Hall, a little bit at loggerheads trying to find a specific designation for food trucks around the ballpark. Is this all part and parcel to what we've come up with today?
100%. So the alderman who I just mentioned, he actually tried this previously. I want to say it was in March or April. And the Cardinals actually kind of put the kibosh on the whole thing because it was going to create a food truck zone near Busch Stadium.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals were worried that was going to eat into like Ballpark Village and other sort of revenue that the Cardinals control. So this new iteration of the bill no longer has a food truck zone near Busch Stadium. So there won't be any food trucks there. The Cardinals are happy about it, and that was kind of the big thing that held it up last time. And it's the big reason it's probably going to get across the finish line this time is because, the Cardinals, their turf is protected.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. The city is in another fight, this time with bank attorneys about condemned buildings. What's going on here?
Sure. So this has to do with that area of North City around where the NGA campus went in. That's partially up and running. It's soon to be sort of fully up and running. And the hope is that campus will kind of create this great economic windfall from that area, which is in really rough shape and could really, really use it. So the city has big plans to sort of prepare the acreage around the NGA for any developers who want to come in. One of the big problems is that there's one developer in particular, the Northside Regeneration. The guy's name behind that is Paul McKee. He owns about 90 buildings kind of in these two specific areas near the NGA, and he really does not want to let go of them. So the city's attempting to, they've blighted the area, and they're trying to take possession of the properties through eminent domain. So the bank, which is actually the lender for Paul McKee, is fighting tooth and nail to prevent the city from taking these properties via eminent domain. And the reasons are sort of very, very complicated, but basically if the city pays sort of eminent domain prices, Paul McKee's banker will get less money than if they stay in private hands for right now.
Opinion on this, are many of those 90 buildings, do they need to be raised, or do they want to keep them for when we do get more development in that area?
That is a great question. So just eyeballing it as a sort of a layperson, these buildings are in really, really rough shape. So the story is that McKee bought them, and he sort of had these great promises about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, which really never came to fruition. In this court hearing on Friday, we were looking at photos of them. I mean, honestly, some of these buildings were more vegetation than buildings. So they really suffered under his
Makes sense.
Ownership. Yeah.
And he seems to have a reputation for that, doesn't he?
That's kind of, he was sort of the 15 years ago, I think everyone was really bullish on the guy. They thought he was going to kind of be the savior of this area, but I mean, we've done a real 180 in terms of the public opinion around him, just because like very few, if any, of his promises have come to fruition.
Yeah. Speaking of kind of dilapidated buildings, the Mark Twain Hotel downtown is going to close after the Missouri Attorney General demanded the spot be cleaned up.
Yeah, this is a good news story. I think this is sort of an area which this is one of those. It's called a hotel, and I think it's technically what they call a single room occupancy, sometimes affectionately known as a flop house.
Okay. I was going to say, I had never heard of the Mark Twain Hotel.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I had heard of it, but certainly never recommended anyone out of town stay there. Yeah. So, yeah, it's basically where you rent a single room, like a bedroom, and then you're sharing a bathroom with everyone, like on the hall, that kind of thing. Probably a lot of folks renting by the week, that kind of thing. And the real issue was that this has just become a haven for, like, drug activity and crime in the area around it. So the Attorney General, she works out of the downtown office. You know, she lives in St. Louis. I'm sure she works in Jeff City several days a week, but she also works in the St. Louis office downtown quite a bit, which is pretty close to the Mark Twain Hotel. So she just said, you guys got to cut this out. You got to clean up this, you got your property. You need to do something with it different than what you're doing now. And I think she gave them I want to say 10 days to give her a plan as to what, they would do differently. And in about 2 days, they said, okay, we're going to shut it down September 1st, and we're going to redevelop it into something else. I assume it'll be something residential. It's probably well set up for that, but there aren't any, those specifics haven't come to light yet. But, so far, so good in terms of Attorney General Catherine Hanaway taking care of this one nuisance property downtown.
Yeah, and it's on Pine, and it's right behind the giant AT&T tower.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of tucked away in there. If you're never down, there's certain streets downtown. It's not a big city, but there's certain streets where I go down and I say, I don't think I've ever been here before. Right. But it would be nice. Do we have plans to redevelop it, like hardened plans, or is this the first step, close it down?
Yeah, this is the first step. I think the big issue is the fact that this was just kind of creating such an eyesore. It was really dragging down things around it. There's a really good sub shop actually, like right next door.
Sub.
Planet, that's it. Exactly.
Now that I got the Google Street View out and I'm looking at it and I go, I have been to this Planet. I love Planet Sub.
Yeah. So I'm sure, I suspect he's happy about Chris, who runs Planet Sub. I have to imagine he's happy about this news. I think the sort of first order of business is kind of stop the bleeding. And then we'll figure out what to do with it specifically after that. But I think I don't recall the exact, I want to say it was maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, where she was asking for some specifics as to what they're going to do. So, I mean, it'll only be in operation for another 6 weeks or so. So I think that those details you're talking about are going to be public sooner rather than later.
So I can still get a room, okay.
Yeah, this is your last chance. Yeah.
Well, we're just doing research, right, Bob?
Well, I'm sure we'll be talking to you about what is next for the Mark Twain Hotel. You can follow these stories and more of Ryan's reports online at stlmag.com. Ryan, thank you so much.
Hey, you guys have a great one.
It's about 4:34. Captain Joe Davis is in the KTRS Traffic Center. How's traffic look?
Yeah, we have a couple of slow spots. It's slow traffic on 64 West between Olive and Boone's Crossing. 70 East between exit 200 and exit 203 is closed still due to an accident. There's slow traffic on 170 South between Ladue Road and 64. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help you with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair, free evaluations, and they take care of all the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, you guys know that I'm trying to win this Garden of the Month out in Newtown.
Right.
I think it's all politics.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all political.
Oh, of course.
I should have won it years ago.
Couldn't be ability.
But we put up hanging planters on our upstairs rail. I bought them from Schnarr's the last time we did a show from Schnarr's.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got new hanging planters up there. I mean, I'm just going to keep adding and adding until she just has to give it to me.
You think it's one person that votes?
Oh, I know exactly who it is.
Okay.
You know,
She's always got it in for you.
Well, I told an off-color joke at a roast a couple of years ago.
Oh.
My wife thinks that's what did it.
Real House Husbands of Newtown.
But you think that yours could compete?
Oh, I know it could.
Oh, of course.
And especially since we got the deck stained. I mean, oh my gosh. It looks like almost night and day, the difference in the house. And you can get your deck stained and change the front of your house as well, or the back of your house. Bob, you got a deck on the back of your house.
Big deck.
And you need to have it stained.
I do.
Bob, you should call Ruffino's Painting right now. Mike at ruffinospainting.com. That's the email address. That's the guy who came over and stained my deck. And he can stain yours too. 636-655-0820. Or you can have him paint your whole house. My wife just said it's about time we paint the kitchen. And it's been 5-6 years. I can't believe she's gone this long without painting the kitchen, and I think it's time, though. So we'll give Mike a call, 636-655-0820, and you can look him up, Mike at ruffinospainting.com, ruffinospainting.com.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at stlmedweightloss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
Celebrate America's 250th with Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Byerly RV. All month long, purchase any RV and receive a $250 gift card. Then join us July 10th and 11th for our in-store celebration. Stop by for additional savings and enter to win RV accessories. Plus, on Saturday, July 11th, enjoy Lunch on Us from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Celebrate freedom, adventure, and the open road during Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Byerly RV in Eureka.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
I'm Reed Millard, president of Lupton Millard Chapel of St. Louis. We've been faithfully serving St. Louis families for generations. At Lupton Millard Chapel, we understand it's the little things that make a big difference for the families we serve. A traditional church funeral or a unique celebration of life. Providing the finest in services and attention to detail has always been the hallmark of our family.
Lupton Millard Chapel, the leader in excellence since 1905. For more information, go to luptonmillardchapel.com.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the Control Option Mindset featuring the Lifetime and Generational Income Maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
The United States and Iran have escalated attacks over control of the Strait of Hormuz. News Nation national security contributor Lieutenant General Richard Newton joins us with more on that story. Is the strait open currently?
Hi, good afternoon. Good to be with you. U.S. Central Command is endeavored to indeed keep the strait open. The challenge here is that the Iranian regime has still been able to threaten commercial shipping, and specifically those ships that decide to go the southern route, which is the one that is preferred by most ships, as well as the one that is somewhat controlled by U.S. Central Command. But nonetheless, I believe it's open, but it's perilous still for the commercial ships to go across the strait. And we've seen that in terms of the numbers, a significant decrease from just a couple of days or so ago of ships being able to pass through. But now that the president has announced the re-engagement of that U.S. naval blockade, which will start tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll see. But lots to unpack here. I still remain highly skeptical with regard to negotiations, but I do believe we're going to get the strait more open than we've seen perhaps with regard to the threatening aspect of Iran in commercial shipping the last several days.
And, you know, Lieutenant General, I saw in a Truth Social post that the president said the U.S. would probably run the Strait of Hormuz and impose a 20% fee on cargo shipments. Is that really a possibility?
Well, he said it so, but actually that's against international maritime law.
Okay.
And it's exactly the thing that we complained about, Heidi, with regard to what Iran was doing several weeks or so ago. In fact, there's formal announcements from Secretary of State Rubio and even UN Ambassador Michael Waltz. So I would not advise the president to do that, because then we're lowering ourselves, if you will, and our standards of trying to maintain law, just like the Iranian regime is trying to do right now.
Wouldn't it be a more reasonable approach to say, hey, we're going to do everything we can to help police and make the strait safe, and and try and get those involved, allies and so forth, to help pay for it in more of a let's do this together kind of thing, instead of we're going to beat you over the head with a hammer?
Absolutely, and that's called statesmanship, and that's leading from the front, not necessarily just militarily, certainly economically with the blockade and so forth, but also certainly from a diplomatic standpoint. I salute the president here, and I have his efforts to try to find a diplomatic or political solution here. But with regard to the strait, and let me be very clear why. There are several straits around the world that in international waters, which the Strait of Hormuz is in, there is no authorization or legality for the straits to, for countries to exercise a toll here. For instance, the Strait of Malacca between Indonesia and Malaysia, which connects the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. And if we start now, there's no toll there at all. It's international waters. If we start doing that here in the Strait of Hormuz, that's going to set a very bad precedent.
Right.
Now, Lieutenant General, the idea that we're going this alone, Spain famously said we can't use their bases to launch any of these attacks. I get that at the beginning when people said, we don't know why you're doing this. But at this point, we have tried in very good faith to make a deal. I would even say we gave up way too much in that thing that they had put out a couple of weeks ago. At this point, Iran just doesn't want to seem to play ball. At what point is Europe and the rest of the Middle East going to come to our table and say, Iran's the problem here?
Well, nothing new here. When I commanded our bombers at Fairford, England, at the tail end of Operation Allied Force, when we went after Milosevic in 1999, there were restrictions from NATO partners that would not allow our overflight of my bombers joining in to strike legitimate targets against Milosevic. And I do believe, frankly, that with the air campaign that we joined in forces with Israel back in June of last year, that ended up with Midnight Hammer on June 22nd when we went after Iranian nuclear weapons development facilities in those 3 nuclear sites, as well as when we kicked off Epic Fury in February 28th. I think really what we were trying to do was the right thing with regard to trying to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, providing also to prevent them from using their ballistic missile retaliatory capability, not only against the United States interests and forces in the region, but Gulf Arab nations and Israel as well as to prevent them from still engaging with terrorist activities. They're still the largest exporter of terrorism. So I believe we're on the right side here in terms of what we're trying to do. But you're right. This is where, again, U.S. needs to lead from the front. This is where the value of allies is so very important, particularly, in my view, with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, other allies. And so my final point here is that Iran not necessarily just hasn't been going against commercial shipping and U.S. interests there, but they've been going and attacking the Gulf Arab neighbors themselves. In fact, if my numbers tell me, is about a week old or so. Iran's been employing about 8,000 ballistic missiles and cruise missiles and drones for the last several weeks. About 85% of those actually going against Gulf Arab nations, and the other 15% against Israel and the United States. And why are they doing that? Because they feel they can muster and not only threaten the United States and Israel, but now Gulf nations in order to bend, the Gulf nations to the will of Iran. We cannot put up with that.
Yeah, we're talking to News Nation's national security contributor, Lieutenant General Richard Newton. I know new satellite images show signs Iran may be trying to rebuild a nuclear site. What can you tell us about that?
Well, since President Trump decided to pursue a diplomatic solution and try to compel Iran to participate in a ceasefire, then in a memorandum of understanding, we know how that's working out so far, but A for effort, but so far incomplete on execution. It has provided the Iranian regime to restock, reload, rearm, re-equip. I'm sure they're trying to pursue a nuclear weapons capability as well. Not necessarily there's those 3 sites, Natanz and Isfahan and Fordow and so forth. But just below, Natanz is a mountain called Pickaxe Mountain, about a mile south of there. And what that provides is that's one site that we did not go back, Heidi, back in June of last year. And so that still remains a potential opportunity for Iran to pursue a nuclear weapon there. But it's not just the nuclear weapons, however, that's concerning. It's their ability to deploy those nuclear weapons on their ballistic missiles and their launchers as well. So they've had an opportunity to restock and reload. And that's what is going to be confounding for Admiral Brad Cooper should we decide to escalate beyond just the Strait of Hormuz offensive operations on behest of the United States. But if we have to go back into central Iran and so forth, much like we saw back with Epic Fury the last several weeks or so ago, that'll be confounding. Can we do the job? Absolutely. But we're a long way away from solving this thing.
We've all seen Iran use our political calendar against us. Famously, they waited until Reagan was in office before they freed the hostages all those years ago. But are they using the midterms against Trump and Republicans and people in charge?
Yeah, great question and great point in your question. Absolutely, they are. They're watching us like a hawk. They know that we're facing midterm elections. They also know that it's a summer season when you've got Americans on the road traveling, therefore the cost of gas. They are just as savvy as any adversary, and we have to assume that. But let's go back to really what's the bottom line of the Iranian regime statecraft. It's really regime preservation. It's their survival. Notice I haven't saying Iran. Iran is made up of 91 million people who I would think, and I actually have an informed opinion on this, just want to be free and go about their lives and be productive and so forth. It's a very small part of this regime that's been in power since 1979, 47 years. But to go back, their playbook is, yes, they watch what's going on in the United States, keenly. But they're also, in their negotiations, they'll try to delay and delay and delay. And just like Heidi, when I referred back to your question, they want to reload and rearm so that they can continue to survive. bottom line here is the regime, and when I'm talking about the regime, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, about 200,000, the Bashij militia, somewhere between 800,000 and a million or so, and certainly the proxies, the Hezbollah to the north in Lebanon, north of Israel. You've got Hamas still alive down in, obviously Gaza and so forth, and you've got the Houthis down in Yemen area. But their mission is to survive, and their mission is to survive and fight another day. And that's really what their game plan is. So we'll see how this plays out. But my bottom line here is, though, I think the president has to stand strong here. I think it's going to take both military options as well as economic options. That's why I salute him for putting the naval blockade back in place, which is really an economic blockade. And then we're also going to have to, I think, go beyond just what we're seeing for tit-for-tat response with regard to, very effective, however, in the Strait of Hormuz. I think we're going to have to probably escalate even farther in order to get Iran to the negotiating table, the regime anyway, to the negotiating table, and bend to our will in terms of how we want to resolve this thing.
Lieutenant General Richard Newton, always a pleasure to be able to pick your brain for a minute. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to be with you all.
It's 9 minutes before 5 o'clock. Captain Joe Davis is in the KTRS Traffic Center.
Yes, we have slow-moving traffic on 64 West between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker. 70 East at exit 203 is still closed due to an accident and is backed up to the St. Charles-Warren County line. There is slow traffic on 64 East between the 170 exit and Big Bend. This traffic report is brought to you by Christmas in July. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday for a free showing of the classic Disney movie, Cars. Face painting, concessions, a stage show, and then the movie. The first 75 people to bring an unwrapped toy for families in need get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free Family Movie Night this Friday, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey guys, it's Cam Jansen of the St. Louis Blues. If you're looking for a hot tub or a swim spa, look no further than Spas and More. Spas and More offers a complete line of hot tubs, swim spas, cold tubs, and saunas, all made in Fort Wayne, Indiana by Master Spas. Spas and More is located at 12957 Gravois Road in Sunset Hills. Stop by the showroom today or check them out at spasandmorestl.com. Woo!
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event. The Raceway features a full schedule on their drag strip, oval track, and gateway kartplex. For full schedule and ticket info, go online to WWTRaceway.com. The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to WWTRaceway.com.
That's WWTRaceway.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Lindsey Graham's sudden death has prompted a process to fill his Senate seat. Juhi Doshi, digital journalist with ABC News Politics in Washington, joins us with the latest. And I reported earlier that his sister has been named as a temporary fill-in. How long does that last?
Right. So Lindsey Graham was up for re-election this year. You know, he won his primary handily with over 50% of the vote, and now there's going to be a special Republican primary to replace him on the ballot set for August 11th. It's not clear that his sister Darlene will run in that primary. She has not indicated that as of yet, and there are other potential contenders that we can get into who are throwing their hat in the ring. But, you know, this appointment would essentially last till the remainder of the late senator's term going into January.
And so immediately she goes to Washington then?
Essentially, yes.
Do we know what her background is?
Yeah, so she hasn't held necessarily any political office, but per the governor, Henry McMaster's office, she has dedicated her career to public service. Since 2019, I should say, she served as a commissioner of the South Carolina Commission for the Blind, so helping people with disabilities find jobs. she campaigned for Lindsey Graham in 2016 when he ran for president, a decade ago, sharing their family story at his campaign launch. And for your listeners who might be confused as to why the governor picked his sister, it's important to highlight the bond that was in between the late senator and Darlene. After their parents died when Lindsey Graham was 22 years old, he essentially became the caretaker. She called him sort of kind of like a brother, a father, and a mother rolled into one. And President Trump wrote earlier today that it would be a nice tribute to the late senator to have his sister fill out his term.
And is part of that, too, that the governor expects that she will carry out whatever kind of Lindsey Graham wanted to happen? She'll follow suit?
Yeah, she indicated that in her remarks earlier today when the governor announced that he would be appointing her, that, she wants to support the president. So, yes, we can certainly assume that, like her brother, Lindsey Graham, who was a, staunch ally of the president in recent years. Obviously, we know that he was once a critic. She will probably, we can expect, follow suit and support the president's agenda going forward.
We had the question with Mitch McConnell last week. I have the question with Lindsey Graham now and his sister taking over. Any business that would be between now and November, December that we would really need them on as far as the Senate goes?
Well, yeah, there's a number of, legislative priorities, that we can see in the near future. Obviously, we're in a really crucial primary season. The midterm season right now is upon us. President Trump's approval rating is underwater from some recent polls we've seen. So, the Senate, in terms of the makeup of it right now, it's a very slim majority that the Republicans have. Every vote, is going to have a major impact, and essentially of the war in Iran, formally resuming as of some recent reports and the strikes that we've seen taking place. This appointment to fill her seat is, you can't overstate the importance of that.
You mentioned the quick primary, I believe you said August 11th. Do we think this will be a kinder, gentler sort of emergency primary, or could sleeves get rolled up and it get ugly fast?
Look, you already have a number of folks who have thrown their hat in the ring. You have former Representative Nancy Mace, who is considering it. She actually vacated her House seat to make an unsuccessful run for governor earlier this year. You have Mark Lynch, who ran against Lindsey Graham in the primary last month, also planning on running for the seat. There is Ralph Norman, a member of South Carolina's House delegation, who fell short in his campaign for governor earlier this year, is reportedly considering it. You have Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott, who earned Trump's endorsement in her campaign for governor, entering the fray. So there's no shortage of names here. And what was, initially seen as a handily, win for Lindsey Graham in his primary, there were no necessarily surprises there. Now it's all open, and Democrats are now eyeing this seat with a little bit probably more attention than they were before. Obviously, flipping a seat that's held by an incumbent is very difficult, but now whoever wins this special primary is going to run against the Democratic nominee, Annie Andrews, in November.
Got it. Juhi Doshi, we always appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are moving into the 5 o'clock hour. I hope you will move along with us. We've got more coming up, including talking a little sports with Randy Carricker. That's coming up at 5:10, so I hope you'll be here for that. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh and Bob on the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Home equity loans are home everything loans at Neighbors Credit Union. Home improvements, vacations, education, even debt consolidation. Anything and everything you have planned can be made easier with my friends at Neighbors Credit Union. With the flexibility of a home equity line of credit at Neighbors Credit Union, you can enjoy a great introductory rate for the first 12 months. The possibilities are endless. Stop by one of the 8 area locations or apply online at neighborscu.org.
Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 509288. Call 800-325-2697 for complete account and cost details.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
The Big 550.
KTRS, St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. is carrying out a fresh round of strikes against Iran. President Trump, in an interview on the Hugh Hewitt Show, downplaying the memo of understanding between both countries.
You know, it's a standard tactic in the U.S. that you go to a memorandum of understanding and then you go to the deal. I said, just go to the deal first. But you know what? It was sort of a test. And they weren't there. They didn't honor the test.
The White House notified Congress on July 10th of renewed military action, that according to a copy of the notice obtained by ABC News. Following the sudden death of Senator Lindsey Graham this weekend, South Carolina's governor appointing the 71-year-old sister, Darlene, to serve what remains of his term through January. Graham had just won the state's Republican primary to run for re-election in November. ABC's Christian Cordero has more.
We will see a primary election, a special election, of course, in the state of South Carolina, and that person will decide who replaces Senator Graham as far as the Republican ticket goes for his previous re-election campaign, and that term will start in January.
A preliminary medical examiner's report shows Graham died from a tear in his aorta stemming from heart disease. In Biddeford, Maine, today, federal immigration authorities were involved in a fatal shooting. The state attorney general's office statement says agents were carrying out an enforcement operation and opened fire when the man tried to flee, moving toward them. Maine Congresswoman Shelley Pengree is calling for federal and local investigations.
We're hoping to hear from ICE that there were body cameras and that there'll be a thorough investigation. We're very anxious to make sure that, the city of Biddeford and the state of Maine are able to be involved in the investigation as well.
Chipotle is heading south of the border. The fast casual chain that dishes up tacos and burritos announced it's opening its first restaurant in Mexico this week in the state of Monterrey. Chipotle says it plans to expand into Mexico City next year. You're listening to ABC News.
It's lurking in your basement, over there in the corner. Or it could be mold and mildew, or even that musty smell. All signs of water entering your basement and causing damage to your most expensive investment, your home. When you suspect water damage, use the hometown waterproofing experts at Permajack of St. Louis. Permajack provides permanent solutions to all your nagging water problems. Whether it's a simple crack repair, perimeter drainage system, waterproof wall panels, exterior waterproofing, or even installing a sump pump, Permajack of St. Louis does it, and they do it right. After all, Permajack is the company St. Louis has trusted for almost 50 years. If you've noticed water in your basement, contact us for a free inspection, system design, and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack, foundation repair and waterproofing. Done right.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
Good afternoon. It's 5:03 and 88 degrees at Westport Plaza. I'm Brendan Weesey, and here's the latest from the KTRS newsroom. Governor Mike Keogh signed multiple bills into law today out in Jefferson City. The highlights were House Bill 3231, which would bring hundreds of millions of dollars in new investment for downtown St. Louis. The other was Senate Bill 999, which creates the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, extending legal rights to infants who survive an abortion attempt. And then also, just moments ago, St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer signing a bill allocating $255 million in Rams settlement money. A large majority of that going towards tornado recovery up in North St. Louis. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway was a guest on the McGraw Show earlier this morning here on the Big 550. Hanaway discussed the need to shut down the Mark Twain Hotel in downtown St. Louis and why the state has taken the lead on handling it.
Well, we have a really good state-level law that allows us to go in and shut down a public nuisance, and this is a public nuisance. There's no two ways about it. It causes all kinds of problems downtown. In fact, one of the first meetings I had when I came into office was with the Fraternal Order of Police, and I said to them, what can we do to help? And they said, well, there's a couple of buildings downtown that just attract criminals, but we don't have all the tools that we need at the local level to take care of them. If you can help with that, that would be terrifically helpful. And so obviously shutting down a whole building is a complicated thing to do. And so we've been working on this for a number of months, and I'm really glad we've got the owner's agreement to shut it down.
That shutdown of the property is set to occur on September the 1st. To hear McGraw's interview with Catherine Hanaway in its entirety, go to KTRS.com or the KTRS app. A proposed 6-month moratorium on data centers will be the focus of tonight's St. Charles County Council meeting. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
A proposed 6-month moratorium on data centers is scheduled to come up for a vote tonight before the St. Charles County Council. The plan introduced at the June 29th council meeting would use the county government's Environmental and Health Protection Authority to enact the moratorium throughout the entire county. This includes inside city boundaries where county regulations don't usually apply. Tonight's St. Charles County Council meeting is scheduled at 7 o'clock. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. A new national survey by Credible has found that 63% of homeowners underestimate the true cost of home ownership, including 73% of first-time home buyers. The survey also uncovered those same homeowners pay more than $5,000 per year over what they expected to maintain the home. A look now at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 until 11 on the Big 550. The Dow closes down 138 points at 52,498. S&P 500 down 60 at 75.15. And the NASDAQ down 408 at 25,873. As we head over to the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, Home Run Derby is tonight in Philadelphia. Hometown Phillies, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber both taking part. Then, of course, Jordan Walker and his 22 long balls will be representing the Cardinals. Now for a check of the roadways, we find Joe Davis. He is filling in for the Captain Paul Kopsky. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Brendan. We have a couple of slow-moving traffic spots here. There's slow-moving traffic on 64 West between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker. Traffic is crowded and moving slowly from Prospect to 70. And there is slow traffic on 64 East between the I-70 exit and Big Bend. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your tickets now for Stages St. Louis. Take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls, which runs through August 23rd. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Joe, thank you. That weather forecast, clear skies tonight will drop down to around 70 degrees. Temperatures gradually rise tomorrow into the low 90s, and by the end of the week, maybe the mid-90s with little to no chances of any rain. At 5:09, we have sunny skies and 87 degrees at Westport Plaza. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Wiese on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, Matt Kearns, president of STL Fringe. This is our 15th anniversary, and the lineup this year is spectacular. Join me for the celebration August 3rd through 9th at STL Fringe Fest 26 in the beautiful Grand Center Arts District. There you will experience concerts, plays, puppetry, musicals, and even a little burlesque. Perfect for those summer bachelorette parties. Grab passes and tickets today, and I'll see you at the Fringe, stlfringe.org. Use promo code BIG550 at the website.
Hi, I'm Robert Williams, owner of Auto Art on the Hill. If you own a classic car, Auto Art is your one-stop shop for repair, restoration, and maintenance. For over 35 years, we've helped car enthusiasts and collectors keep their vehicles looking great and running their best so they can drive them. We're also proud to be the home of the award-winning Throttle Squad Car Club. Classic cars are meant to be driven, and like any vehicles, they require regular maintenance. Our experts will help keep you and your classic on the road. Fall in love with your car again. Visit Auto Art at 5305 Northrop Avenue on the Hill, online at autoartstl.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
You're listening to The Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
The baseball season is at the All-Star break. Randy Carricker, host of the Fight Weekends on Matrix Midwest and the Randy Carricker Show podcast, is here to talk a little sports. Welcome back.
It's great to be with you guys, and a beautiful day in St. Louis, and it should be a fun home run derby tonight.
I know, and let's talk about it because it's changed a little bit.
It has. For the last 10 years or so, baseball has gone to a timed home run derby. For the first many years of the derby, it was set up so that a player got X amount of swings. So, for example, tonight in the first round, a player will get 20 swings, and however many home runs they hit, that'll be the number. If they get to 20 and they hit a home run, then they get another swing, and they can keep taking swings until they don't hit a home run. But part of this is that you don't have to swing the bat, which you did have to do when there was timing. Well, what's happened here is that when the Home Run Derby was on ESPN, it was a TV show, and it had to fit into a TV window from, for example, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now it's moved to Netflix. They don't care how long it lasts. So that's what's going to happen tonight, is that all of the contestants are going to get as many swings as they want. And remember back in the day when Mark McGwire and Ken Griffey Jr. and Sosa were doing it, and they would wind up with 100 swings in a night, and it took 4.5 hours, and that's possibly what could happen tonight.
How many people compete in the Home Run Derby?
There are a total of 8, and 2 of the participants tonight are from the home team, Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper from the Philadelphia Phillies. They'll be there at the bank, and obviously Jordan Walker from the Cardinals and Junior Caminero from the Rays. Some of the brightest stars in baseball are going to be participating tonight.
Yeah. And, of course, before we got here, the Braves avoided a sweep thanks to an error by Wynn. Where do you see the Cardinals in the second half of the season?
I think it's really interesting, and I want Rammer to weigh in here, because one of the things we see as the weather gets hotter in St. Louis, and I don't understand science at all, but the ball flies farther when the weather is warmer here and the humidity gets higher. The ball hangs up in the air because the air is heavier. And I know one of the things the Cardinals are concerned about is they don't have strikeout pitchers. They have pitchers that hit bats, and they pitch to contact. And so what the Cardinals are concerned about is that ball flying out of the ballpark at home games while the weather is hot here in St. Louis. Now, really, we only have half of July and August to go. I would expect that the Cardinals will finish right around 500. They're 5 over. Right now, they have 50 wins, which is great. And before the season, guys, I would have thought that 76, 77 wins would have been great. I think they're probably an 80, 81 win team, maybe an 82 win team this year.
Yeah, Randy, I think, no pun intended, you're in the ballpark. I'm right there with you. It'll be interesting to see. I think the Cardinals, although we kind of salivate over young talent, I think the Cardinals have been patient and giving opportunities when earned. I wonder if between now and September 1st, any more guys in the minor leagues will earn an opportunity.
Well, philosophically, the Cardinals have changed from the John Mozeliak era.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no doubt that Jordan Walker was rushed, Nolan Gorman was rushed, Mason Wynn was rushed to the majors. The philosophy now is you have to do everything you can do at the minor league level. You have to set it up so that at AAA you can't do anything more at AAA, and that's how you get called up. And Crooks, even though he's off to a bad start in the major leagues, had done that. He had an over 1,000 OPS for a long time. And so I would think that there's a chance that Josh Baez could do that. I would think there's a chance, and it's going to be tough for a guy like Quinn Matthews, the lefty, but he's 26 years old, and at some point they're going to have to get him up here. So I would think those are two guys that we have a chance to see, and the trade deadline will play a huge role in this because I think they will trade Dustin May. There's no real good reason to keep him unless he would agree to an extension. And why should he agree to an extension when he's only 3 months away from going into free agency? And Lars Nootbaar is a year away from free agency, and the Cardinals have his replacement in the minors, whether that's Josh Baez or Juan Bin Cho, who's at AA, just tearing things up. They have the Nootbaar replacement in-house. So I would think that there's a chance that both of those guys would get traded, and that would allow us to see a Quinn Matthews or a guy like Josh Baez.
Randy, with the minor league pitchers we're talking about, you might say it's time for them to pitch or get off the pot. You can have that for free, Randy.
I appreciate that very much. Some things just never change.
Sorry.
No, it's great. It's great. But this is the Cardinals. It's interesting because the pitchers are a year or two behind the position players. And the Cardinals, clearly, they need to make sure that center field is set, and Nathan Church may or may not be the guy in center field. In left field, they need somebody. At third base, they need somebody. But there are maybe 15 pitchers in this system now, and this is on the heels of the draft over the weekend. They have a lot of pitchers that have a chance to pitch at the major league level and be members of their rotation by 2028, and those that don't wind up starting will wind up, some of them, in the bullpen. They're going to need a couple of lefty relievers. So the guys are there. The talent is there. Now it's a matter of finding out who the best guys are and getting them to the major leagues, because the team expects to be very competitive in 2028. And next year will be this year was a runway season like last year for position players. Next year will be a runway season for pitchers.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Let's switch to the World Cup, which continues to excite. I mean, I don't know that these games could get much better.
Well, it's pretty amazing when you look at the TV ratings here in the States. The ratings for the USA-Belgium game were the highest for any event since the Super Bowl, which is pretty incredible. And they rivaled the AFC and NFC championship games. And, oh, by the way, blew away the deciding game of the NBA Finals between the Knicks and the Spurs. So the ratings have been great. And, Heidi, I'm with you. And it was predictable, but it's fun. We'll probably see a World Cup championship game on Sunday between Mbappe and France and Messi and Argentina, and I would think that that's what FIFA want. Unless they could get the USA in there, this would be the next best thing. You've got these international superstars that are going to be playing for, with all due respect to the Super Bowl and the NBA Finals. This is the biggest sporting event in the world, and so I think it'll be fun, and it'll be fun to watch tomorrow. I'm intrigued. And I think it'll be really fun to watch this weekend. By the way, I didn't know they did consolation games anymore. Did you guys realize they have a consolation game in the World Cup on
third place
Saturday?
game?
So, or the losers game.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Randy, there is talk. The head of FIFA came out today and said, this has been very successful. Maybe we'll expand this tournament to 64. I mean, they added, 18 teams this year, and now they're going to add another 20? You're really watering down the pool. I got a question for you, Bob and Heidi. Let's compare it to the men's bracket in NCAA. Does anybody really think that Iona is going to win the national championship, or Howard or St. Peter's? What's the point of having the team come all the way in here just to get blown out and sent home? The top 4 seeds are currently the top 4 teams that are still here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think, Josh, another point to be made here is that all of us together, and I don't know how much geography you guys know, but I know that I couldn't come close to naming 64 countries. I had no idea where the Cape Verde existed, and they had a nice little run in the tournament. But I don't know if you can find 64 countries to participate in the World Cup.
Yeah, we're in, but you got to teach us how to play the game.
Right.
It's so true. I got to finish with just Sophie Cunningham having a crazy night last night. 6 3-pointers in a win against the Aces. I mean, she could not miss.
What an incredible superstar she's become. And over the weekend, she was the ring girl for the UFC battle. And, she's got the meme now with the pointing. And apparently they're going to come out with a Sophie Cunningham pointing calendar.
I'm buying. I'm in.
Yeah, me too. She is a superstar. And the best thing that ever happened to her was getting onto that team with Caitlin Clark.
So true.
She's kind of the enforcer on that team, but she's great. She is so much fun, and she brings, I think, a lot of personality to the WNBA that league hasn't had before. She really does make it fun to watch.
Yes, she does. Well, you can hear Randy here with McGraw every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. You can watch him on The Fight at 10 weeknights on Matrix Midwest, and, of course, the Randy Carricker Show podcast on STL Sports Central. Randy, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, and have a great rest of your day.
See you, buddy.
See you.
Bob, you do basketball games. Heidi, you played college basketball. Am I off base here? What's the point?
Here's the difference
of having
percentage of addition. I didn't get too worked up. What would the NCAA say we're going to add?
74,
so
78?
six teams.
Yeah.
Well, so that's just a small percentage. But when you're almost doubling, or I guess a third more teams, that's a lot. If you're going to do it, we can debate whether you should or not. I think most people say let's ease into it.
Yeah, maybe not that many
you
right
want
off
to
the
add
top.
8 more teams? Okay, let's take a look. And I think to avoid the slaughters, because as you point out, chalk ruled, the top 4 are the top 4 in World Cup. I think that if you're going to add a bunch more teams, they should all play each other in an opening round or 2.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Like
give some bye weeks or something.
And eliminate some of the teams that really have no chance to win.
Yeah.
I think that might be the only way to make it palatable. But, they see the full stadiums didn't get a chance to talk to
Making a lot of money.
Money.
Exactly.
But the other thing is, the thing that's been coolest to me about this whole event is the fan support. It's
everybody. I saw a meme that said, it doesn't matter. Like, if you didn't have politicians right now, we wouldn't know anything because the world just comes together for this game. Everybody in the stadiums are high-fiving, and it's like we all just get along.
It's so remarkable, and I'm really excited about that it's become that kind of event in the U.S. and Mexico and Canada.
For sure.
And no offense to the Iraq team, but they had no business being in this tournament. They lost every single game, and they had a goal differential of -11. They scored 1 goal in the entire time that they were here. So what are we doing? I don't know.
I think it does go back to money, but I will disagree with you on the NCAA tournament because for me, the NCAA tournament is more about the Cinderella story than it is about the Blue Buds of basketball. And there is always someone who rises to the top, or you get to see a couple other little, who would have thought that SLU was going to be where they were this year even? I mean, I just think that's why, at least for me, that's why I watch. I want the underdog story.
Butler being in the finals, was it 2 years in a row? And they lost to Duke. And
Same
I think
thing
they
with
lost
Loyola
to UConn.
of Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the fun rides. And you had a couple of, even Norway, that kind of captured the hearts of everyone. So there's some of that in there. I think they've got to be very careful.
Yeah.
Are you ready to begin your home purchase journey in 2026? The Royal Banks of Missouri Mortgage Team is here to help you every step of the way. Their local lenders offer competitive rates and personalized support so you can focus on creating the space of your dreams. Discover how Royal Banks of Missouri can partner with you to unlock the door to your new home. Call 314-212-1500 to learn how they can help find the right home loan for you. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress. But one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Don't miss the summer sale going on all month long at Appliance Discounters. Come in today and save, and they'll deliver it tomorrow. Savings up to 60% off select models. In addition to their sales prices, Appliance Discounters is having huge factory rebates on select models. They have a 50,000 square foot warehouse full of savings. Just come by one of their 6 showrooms and they'll show you why they're called the Appliance Discounters. Appliance Discounters with 6 locations or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
Can we have a heart-to-heart for a second? I feel like if you're an esthetician, I don't know why you wouldn't be applying for a job at the Only Facial right now. There are so many opportunities for advancement. Every manager and trainer within the organization of the Only Facial started as an esthetician, as a matter of fact. And I want to tell you this, you are not even responsible for selling products or memberships. Instead, what you're going to be doing is what you do best, delivering exceptional results with facials that are exhilarating and building meaningful relationships with your clients. At The Only Facial, they are deeply committed to ongoing education and professional development. You'll know what I'm talking about when you talk to these ladies. This company is growing. People are loving The Only Facial. And in fact, you can make your appointment online now. TheOnlyFacial.com. They're all over town.
Ask any designer, and they'll tell you lighting is key. It's Heidi, and you can completely transform your home with Nora Lighting, which is available at my go-to store, Metro Lighting. From recessed to under cabinet lighting, Nora helps brighten every corner beautifully. Visit Metro Lighting St. Louis area showrooms to explore all the Nora Lighting solutions, or check them out online at metrolightingcenters.com.
Summer in St. Louis means oppressive heat and humidity. Now is the time to take advantage of Aldon Heating and Cooling's $79 AC check with a free home air quality snapshot. And summer is allergy season. Now is the time to take advantage of Aldon's $200 off an allergy relief package, which includes an air scrubber and filtration system. Book your appointment now as spaces are filling up fast. Certain restrictions apply. And for information on a state-of-the-art dike and fit system, visit al-don.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
So a couple in Tennessee just celebrated 80 years of marriage. Their names are John Carroll, who's 101.
Wow.
His wife, Jerry, 100. And they have 3 children, 7 grandchildren, 21 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great. One of their favorite things to do is go to their local McDonald's every Friday to get a sausage McMuffin with egg. And employees recently honored the Carrolls with a special sign under the Golden Arches celebrating their 80 years together.
Very cool. I love that story.
Now, that made me think of something that I saw today. And it says, my grandparents were married for 60 years. One day I asked my grandfather, what's the secret to loving the same woman for a lifetime? This says, I expected him to say communication, trust, date nights. Instead, he looked at my grandmother and said, you don't love the same woman. That answer stopped me. Then he said, she changes every few years, and if you don't update the way you love her, you lose her. The woman I married at 22 wasn't the same woman at 30. Motherhood changed her. Hardships changed her. Time changed her. At 40, she needed respect more than romance. At 50, she needed partnership more than passion. At 60, she needed presence more than promises. He paused for a moment and added, every time she changed, I had a choice. I could complain that she wasn't the woman I fell in love with, or I could fall in love with the woman she was becoming. Then he said something I'll never forget. The biggest mistake people make is thinking love stays the same. They fall in love once, then stop paying attention. Loving someone for a lifetime means staying curious about them, keep learning them, keep noticing them, keep choosing them. Because the moment you stop discovering the person beside you, someone else eventually will.
Brilliant.
Right?
Really brilliant.
I think that that's something that we all need to
That's really good.
remember.
I think I'm going to text my wife.
Are you
Forgive
crying?
me for forgiveness.
Did you
need to
say
apologize
something?
You
for
were
a few
right. I
things.
shouldn't wear the hat.
Yeah, that is so true.
I haven't been unloading the dishwasher enough.
Mm-hmm. It's the little things, Josh. It is the little things. Now, something that's big, but if you're a homeowner, you got to stay on top of, that's the HVAC systems. I mean, they're complex, and you got to make sure that you're keeping those filters cleaned and making sure that they're checked when they need to be checked. And you have to have the right team on your side that you truly trust, because this is expensive. Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning is a great team. They're an honest team. They lead with integrity, and they really offer fair and common sense pricing, and also fast, reliable service with, dare I say, real human support. Indoor Comfort Team will take care of you. And with the summer already here, maybe it's time to get that air conditioner checked. You can check them out today at indoorcomfortteam.com. Adam, the owner, I mean, he not only treats his customers right, he actually befriends them, shares his own cell phone number with them. So if something goes wrong, they take care of it. Indoor Comfort Team is small enough to care, but big enough to handle any job you might have. So again, you can reach Indoor Comfort Team at 314-894-8200. That's 314-894-8200, or find them online at indoorcomfortteam.com. It's about 5:33, and Captain Joe Davis is in the traffic center. What are you seeing on the roads?
Yeah, so we have a couple of trouble spots here. There's stop-and-go traffic on 64 West between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker. Traffic is crowded and moving slowly on 64 West from Prospect to 70. And on 55 northbound at exit 180, just north of Route Z, the left lane is blocked and causing delays due to an accident. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called WSWindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, we hope to hear from you. And they have been successful. They've beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. WSWindow.net. WSWindow.net.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
It's the GOAT! The greatest of all trade-in events at HW Kia. Bring your trade now and get up to $5,000 over book value for it. If your trade is old, tired, stinky, or being held together by duct tape and a prayer, HW Kia wants it. Paid off or not, bring that old goat in to HW Kia. Then drive home a new HW Kia K4 for just $189 a month. Yes, only $189 a month on a 24-month lease. It's the HW Kia GOAT event. The greatest of all trade-in events. Get up to $5,000 over book value for your trade now. New K4, just $189 a month. HW Kia in the heart of West County on Manchester Road. And remember, Big D wants to see ya in an HW Kia. Start now at hwkia.com. With approved credit to well-qualified buyers through Kia Finance. 2026 K4, $36.95 due at signing. Discount includes $850 in lease cash. 10,000 miles per year. No security deposit. Plus tax, title, license, and admin fee expires 7/31/26.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment. A moment for an idea to spark. Or to make it happen. A moment to find your dream. Or build one. A moment to start your forever. Or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them. And can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Hi, everybody. McGraw Millhaven here for family-owned and family-operated Lisi Lumber since 1872. Lisi Lumber is now producing and delivering custom kits for pre-assembled trestles, pavilions, and pergolas made to your specifications. Union-made, union-delivered, homeowners and do-it-yourselfers, you're going to love this. Got an idea? Send them a sketch and some dimensions, and they'll do the rest. For the best woods and pre-assembled hardscapes, call Lisi Lumber at 618-234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, let's do some entertainment news. John Mulaney mentioned that Mick Jagger wasn't nice to work with on SNL back in his 2018 stand-up special. Well, Mick, who didn't see the special, recently addressed how fame has changed his personality. He said you can become disassociated from what people might call real life. Psychologically, your actual state of mind is permanently damaged. He said your late 20s and early 30s, it's a very tough time because it's a big ego trip. You have to have a huge ego to do this. People that don't have huge egos have huge problems because they have to manufacture a completely different personality.
I don't think there's any doubt that it's likely to change you. And when you're at the absolute peak of fame, like Mick Jagger and the Stones, that's just
it's next level.
It's such rarefied air that it doesn't affect many, but ones that do usually end up fall off that cliff.
Yeah,
pretty badly.
So true.
I've always thought, what would it be like to be a royal, Prince Harry or Prince William? You'll never know. It's just a completely different experience.
Not relatable.
And so is Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney. Sometimes I wonder what John Lennon would have been like. had he
Yeah.
not
Lived.
been murdered.
Yeah.
But to find out that Mick Jagger was rude, was he rude?
Who knows?
He said not fun to work with?
Yeah.
Or,
Probably just demanding. Probably.
and he probably doesn't even know he's doing it.
And he probably doesn't care.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to be funny in the room and maybe doesn't laugh or doesn't get it. Who
Yeah.
knows?
He seems like Mick seems like a people pleaser to me. But maybe
Really?
that's a wrong read.
I don't know.
I would not say a people pleaser.
No? Is that a bad read?
I don't know.
You know, like...
Here, let me give him a call.
Yeah. Yeah, like...
Hey,
A
Mick.
good guy, but I
Keith
don't know if he
doesn't care.
cares.
Yeah, Keith doesn't care. Keith does Keith stuff. But Mick seems like he wants people to like him, you know?
I don't know.
Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell quit her highly successful talk show in 2002 because she had $100 million in the bank. She says, I already have that money, and if I think I need more, something's wrong with me. So she was ready to go be a mom and
I think
live
that's
life.
a reasonable position.
Yeah.
How much would you need?
How
much would you need?
To do
to
what?
retire?
Go away and never come back.
Well, it's not like she never came back, but because she even had another talk show on Oprah's network for a while.
Probably 20 million plus.
20? Oh, 20? I mean, I think I could get it done for 10.
Well, what you could, yeah, but the question is just to walk away and not worry about it.
When you're already making that kind of money, you could.
And you got to think about your earning power and your earning potential. I mean,
no, I don't.
No, not you, not you. Maybe not even Rosie.
Potential in anything.
But someone say, would I walk away like those Snapchat guys? They could have sold to Google for $1 billion, and they said no. And I'm like, you guys are insane. And then I don't know what Snapchat's worth now. Maybe they should have sold, but. They could be like, you know what? Well, Facebook's now worth, $500 billion.
Let it roll.
And he could have sold that for $1 million.
I think you also have to read the room a little bit. Maybe people wanted Rosie to do something different, or maybe the industry itself was changing and she didn't really want to be a part of it. I think a lot of things go into when it's time to call it, not just the amount of money.
Do you want $100 million, or would you be happy with 20?
I'd take 20. I'd love if you offering me the 100.
No, you'd still have to keep working though.
With 100
to get to that point.
What are you saying?
The earnings potential.
Oh,
you could still keep working and hit it big or whatever, or you hit 20 million and just say that's enough for me and bow out.
If I was in my 20s, I'd probably keep going.
Yeah.
30s, 40s even, but not now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to raise $20 million and send Bob on his way.
See what happens. I think you'd get off pretty cheap.
The Dunder Mifflin gang got back together over the weekend. Rainn Wilson, who of course played Dwight, Phyllis Smith, St. Louisan, played Phyllis, Craig Robinson, Daryl, Calvin Tenner, Glenn, turned out for the opening of The Office castmate Leslie David Baker, who of course played Stanley. He opened a honey-baked location in Sherman Oaks, California.
Like a honey-baked ham?
Yes. He said, people know me as Stanley, but I've always had an appreciation for good food and great
ham.
communities. Plus, this job comes with a lot more sandwiches and a lot less time in meetings.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
it was a cute picture.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Was Steve Carell there?
No.
Okay. Was John Krasinski there?
No.
Okay.
I just listed all the people that were there.
I know. Sometimes when you rattle off the list of people and then you find out they showed up to the honey-baked ham,
Then you pay
I want to
attention
go
more.
back and say, all right, well,
Yeah.
who showed up?
Rainn
and who
Wilson,
didn't?
Phyllis, Craig Robinson.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a good showing. Ron Howard experienced a pretty big bout of stage fright before his first Happy Days taping in front of a live audience. His castmates, Don Most and Anson Williams, Potsy and...
Ralph.
Yeah, thank you. They were reminiscing about the iconic television show and Ron's bundle of nerves during Happy Days reunion at a panel in Tennessee over the weekend. And Anson explained, Donnie, Henry, and I, we had all done theater, and we were excited about this because every Friday night was like opening night. A little nervous, live audience. Ron, on the other hand, had never done a stage show.
Mm-hmm.
Don added that night of the show, the very first one, they couldn't find Ron anywhere until they discovered him in a closet. They said there's a wardrobe room, and there's Ron in the corner shaking, back turned, and he said, I go, Ron. And he just walks out. He killed it that night. He found out that he is actually really good at theater.
And you can understand that. He had been basically a baby actor, a toddler actor, but was always in movies and TV without a live audience. So you could see, plus he was a teenager.
Yes.
And all the teenage angst that goes with every teenager, you could see that happening.
Yeah. The Rock wants to do an Odd Couple on Broadway with Kevin Hart.
Funny.
Could be. And can you see The Rock on Broadway? But Broadway is doing less big musicals and bringing in more stars because they are filling seats.
If it had the good script, those two could pull it off, but you got to have the script.
I read something in the New York Times recently that apparently they have the Tonys Awards for all that stuff, but they also have some sort of Broadway awards, and there were so few new ideas that they didn't even give out the trophy for best new musical because there just wasn't enough
out there.
They just keep recycling all these other things.
Well, it just takes so much money to stand one up. I mean, and to fill that theater.
So The Rock would be Felix, right? He was the neat one, right? Jack Lemmon.
I don't know how they do it.
Well, he'd have to be. And then Kevin Hart would be the kind of the obnoxious one.
I think you could see it
I think
either
you're
way.
typecasting.
Yeah, I think you'd see it either way.
Oh, okay.
What's the movie where they're together and The Rock's the CIA guy, but he's almost a little bit. I can't think of the word. He's just not the real macho guy until the action ensues because he had traumatic experience in high school. Do you guys know the movie?
No. Was it Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson.
I didn't know that they'd been in something
Central
together.
Intelligence.
Central Intelligence. It's not a great movie, but it's very watchable.
Okay.
And I could see that them playing either role.
Central Intelligence, 2 Jumanji movies, A Fast and the Furious.
Okay, yeah.
And then DC League of Super Pets. I'm guessing that was their voices. So they've worked together quite a bit.
All right.
But the spy one I think you'd like it, Josh.
All right. 84126. The Rock is Felix, right? On the text line. Back me up on this.
He could be, but I could see him flipping it too.
Yeah.
And maybe they change maybe one guy's not a sports writer.
I was going to say, maybe they're just different.
Okay.
Not the actual.
Not the same
character.
Yeah.
Got to mix it up a little, make it a little more modern day. Get this, the reason the dad is dead in the original Princess Diaries is because Disney wanted to give Julie Andrews more lines. He was not deceased in the book.
How about that?
Speaking of changing things up.
Okay.
Yeah. Anthony Hopkins isn't just an actor. He's a composer, and he has an album coming out next month. And then Madonna achieved her 10th #1 album with Confessions 2. And I have to say, I've listened to it a couple times.
Is it good?
It's good. It's like her old school. I mean, it's a little disco-y. It's like but I like it. 36 years ago today, in 1990, Ghost with Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze, and Whoopi Goldberg was released.
We were just talking about it over the weekend. Classic movie.
My favorite thing is the demons, the
black
shadow
things.
I thought that was terrific. Really good special effects for its time.
Remember when that glass fell on him?
Oh, yeah.
Tony Goldwyn.
I like when Whoopi Goldberg said, "You in danger, girl."
Yeah. I like when all the ghosts find out that she is a medium.
Yeah.
And they're all lined up, and that guy jumps. It's autumn sunrise.
Yeah, that's a good one. As we mentioned, Major League Baseball's Home Run Derby is tonight. It starts at 7 on Netflix. And, of course, Cardinals right fielder Jordan Walker will be participating. You've got the series premiere of Dancing with the Stars, The Next Pro on ABC. Robert Irwin hosts that. And you get to watch 12 professional dancers compete for a permanent spot on Dancing with the Stars. Let's do a couple birthdays.
Couple birthdays. You want 2, Josh?
Yeah, let's do 2. We'll do 3 since you're back.
Let's do one of my favorite writer-directors, Jerry Maguire, Almost Famous.
Cameron
Say
Crowe.
Anything. Fast Times. Cameron Crowe is how old?
He was so young.
I know. I'd say
when
he is
started
as a rock
69.
I'll say 71.
Bang! Heidi got it at 69.
Yeah.
How about this one? I mean, I'm just going to do one more.
Okay.
Han Solo, Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, also a rescue pilot.
Have you seen him without his shirt on recently? He is stacked.
He's
always stayed in shape, yeah.
But he's 82.
84.
Heidi, this clean sweep 84. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Bang.
I did not cheat. I'll tell you what, you're not going to get cheated when you work with Window Depot of St. Louis either. To celebrate America's 250th birthday, Window Depot is offering you $250 off each window and door with a qualifying purchase. Jason and Angie, they grew up in St. Peter's, and they learned the value of helping others through their parents. So they help with so many local groups, different charities, or maybe it's just the baseball team that needs new T-shirts or something donated. Well, that's what they do with Window Depot of St. Louis. And right now, as I mentioned, it's a really great deal, especially if you've been putting off getting those windows. Now is a great opportunity for you. Window Depot USA of St. Louis, they live by one simple principle: do what's right. They treat their customers as they'd want their mom to be treated. And I think if more businesses did that, they'd be in better shape. And Window Depot, they create happy customers. So to learn more about that $250 off each window and door with a qualifying purchase, you can call Window Depot at 636-939-4800. That's 636-939-4800. Or check them out online at windowdepotstl.com.
How do you separate estate planning from elder law? You don't, because they're so intertwined. Let's face it, we're all getting older, and you need to make these decisions today, whether it's for your parents, for yourself, or for future generations. Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, Caroline Stolzer, and now it's Matthew Furr have been navigating these important decisions for more than 50 years. Beck, Lennox, Stolzer, Estate Planning, and Elder Law. Call them, 636-946-7899 or beckelderlaw.com. You can thank me later.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community, with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels, with membership starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
We need to be very careful in this heat wave. You need to check on mom and dad, check on the neighbors, the senior citizens, the dogs, the cats. You need to be safe in this heat because it can be dangerous. And if your air conditioner has any issues, you call Gelmish & Sons. Why? Because they've been dealing with St. Louis summers since 1950. Gelmish & Sons is on hand, ready to help you in this heat wave. Give them a call, 314-993-1110 or gelmishandsons.com.
Let's face it, most people are not thinking about planning a funeral, but planning ahead can bring you significant savings by locking in today's prices. Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens in Fairview Heights is part of Dignity Memorial. They've been an essential part of the community for generations and believe a funeral service or cremation memorial should be as unique as the person it honors. Receive low interest options on prepaid cremation property and burial plans and up to 10% off cemetery property and funeral plans. Experience the dignity difference. Call Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens at 618-233-7200 to schedule a pre-planning appointment. Online at dignitymemorial.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Time to get one final check of traffic with Captain Joe Davis today.
Yes, 55 northbound, just north of Route Z. The left lane is still blocked due to an accident. Emergency vehicles are blocking the left lane as well. Stop and go traffic on 64 West between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker. And slow-moving traffic in Lake St. Louis on 64 West between 364 and 70. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms at Miller Furniture. We put the family in furniture.
You've spent years building your retirement savings. How do you turn those savings into income that you can rely on? Hear more on the Financial Safari with local trusted advisor Greg Belger, Sundays at 5 p.m., right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's wrap this Monday up with a couple randoms.
All right, technically bananas aren't grown on trees. We call them banana trees.
What are they?
It's actually an herb since it has a succulent stem, not a wooden stem.
Oh.
Okay, Brainiac.
I didn't realize that they were that picky. The inventor of the ATM wanted to use 6-digit pens.
Oh, thank God we didn't.
He ran the idea by his wife. She could only remember 4 digits. And because of her so-so memorization skills, it's been 4 digits ever since.
I like it.
Me
Thank
too.
goodness for her.
I agree. And there have been more than 400 different flavors of Kit Kats produced in
How
Japan.
many?
400.
Like what?
Pear, blueberry cheesecake, green tea,
No.
wasabi Kit Kats, soybean flavored Kit Kats.
What is going on?
400 different flavors.
Okay. Well, I hope your dinner is better than that. You guys, thanks for hanging out with us on this Monday. We really appreciate it. Being a part of the text line and everything that you do. We wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for you. We'll be back tomorrow starting at 3 o'clock. I hope you'll join us then. And until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
It's all right. It's all right. Bet your money all you like.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Hey, thanks, Farmer Dave. We didn't get the nickname the St. Louis Corvette Kings by accident. We have specialized in Corvettes for over 30 years, and I need more. You have one for sale, especially C6, C7, and classic Corvettes. I'm an immediate buyer for very clean, low-mile examples. Hop on our site, mastercarsinc.com, or give us a call to submit what you have. We'll even come to you if we have to. No money on it? Don't worry. We'll make the payoff and pay your equity right on the spot. This has been a fantastic Corvette summer, and I want to keep it rolling.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores.
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
From ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. Federal immigration agents involved in another deadly shooting, this time in Maine. Bystander video reviewed by ABC News appears to show ICE agents and law enforcement officers performing first aid on someone on the ground. ABC's Olivia Rubin.
The Maine Attorney General saying his office is investigating and revealing some information. He said specifically that those officials were, quote, conducting an enforcement operation related to a final order of removal when they say the subject attempted to flee in a vehicle in the direction of the officer and was fatally shot. Now, that statement doesn't name who the individual was, but immigrant rights groups saying it was a 26-year-old Colombian man authorized to work in the U.S. and had a social security number.
ABC has not independently verified the shooting victim's identity or his immigration status. Harris County, Texas Commissioner Rodney Ellis today saying the DA is opening an investigation into the ICE-involved shooting death of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. ICE says the victim was in the U.S. illegally and tried to ram an officer's vehicle. His family disputed that account. Commissioner Ellis.
In the wake of similar incidents across our country, we cannot ask the public to take ICE or DHS at their word and simply accept their account of the various agencies involved, any more than if it was a tragedy involving our local entities.
The DA saying the federal government is not thus far collaborating with Houston officials in this investigation. Here we go again. More dangerous heat is on the way, this time expected to impact more than 100 million Americans from LA to Boston. An extreme heat warning is in place through Thursday for Minneapolis, where a daily high heat index of up to 100 is possible. You're listening to ABC News.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The death of Senator Lindsey Graham at age 71 and the continued absence of Senator Mitch McConnell at 84 is calling attention to the average age of lawmakers.
Never in history has Congress been this old. The U.S. Constitution sets the minimum age requirement to be in the Senate at 30 and the House at 25. It does not set a maximum. The average age of the current Senate is 64. Half the members are over 65. The oldest, Chuck Grassley in Iowa, 92. The youngest, John Ossoff of Georgia, 39. Average age in the House has soared from under 50 in the early 1980s to 58. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
Firefighting aircraft went down in a southwest Colorado reservoir Sunday, killing the pilot.
The K-MAX heavy lift helicopter was in the air for nearly an hour, dipping its bucket into the Silver Jack Reservoir in Gunnison County, drawing up water and dumping it onto the Gold Mountain wildfire. After 5 in the afternoon, fire commanders got a report that the aircraft had gone into the reservoir. The pilot's body was recovered 5 hours later.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Well, Jay-Z's final concert at Yankee Stadium was delayed for several hours last night after hundreds of people without tickets rushed the door to get in.
Really sorry for the inconvenience, but I have to make sure everybody's okay.
Jay thanked the crowd for their patience and promised a good time. Well, this morning's show included surprise appearances from Rihanna, Jadakiss, and Swiss Beats. I'm Stephanie Officer, ABC News.
Of all the wireless companies in America, only one has 5 stars in every category from Consumer Reports, and that company is Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. Plus, no service contracts and no cancellation fees. Just phenomenal U.S. customer